Coming to you live from my apartment, it's Rob Has a Podcast. And now here's a guy who has never pooped in the ocean. I am Rob Cesternino. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to our feedback show, week number 1. Brand new this season, Monday night of feedback. And I'm very excited. I think that this is going to be a fun spot to look at the Survivor week that was. And I'm so thrilled to kick off another season of the Feedback Show with my great friend, my co-host from the Nothing But Netflix podcast. Please welcome back the great Chappell. Chappell, how are you?
Rob, I'm honored to be here to kick off this season. I love this tradition. We should keep this going forever and ever and ever.
Okay.
But I do have to ask,
Yes.
who told you I've never pooped in the ocean?
I never said about anything about you.
Oh, okay, cool. Just making sure.
Yeah, I was just talking about me.
Uh-huh.
I don't think the aqua dump was invented way back when.
Yeah, I don't think. Well, the
Maybe
thing was,
actually, I think maybe Brian Heidig invented it, but we didn't know about it. We didn't see that season.
Even so, Rob, I mean, you were in a season where crocodiles and stuff and piranhas.
We weren't allowed to go in the water, right?
Right. Even though that one episode y'all did
dive
into the water like haphazardly to win a reward challenge. You know, it happens. Stuff happens.
Yep.
Sometimes an alligator gets you. Sometimes it don't.
Yep. That's what happened last season.
Yep.
All right. Chappell is here. We're going to talk about everything from Survivor 44's premiere. Of course, we get your voicemails every week. You can leave them robinswebsite.com/voicemail. We've got comments. We've got emails. We've got all the crazy moments from the 44 premiere and much more here today. This is the show where this is a catch-all of everything going on social media. You name it, we're talking about it here today on the Survivor Feedback Show, and we are live, so we can take your questions and comments just like this. Puya says, hello, Rob. Hello, Grenade.
Hello, fan. Nice to meet you. Well, let's just talk about this grenade thing. Let's just get in front of it. For the people who are not paying attention to our draft, we every season we do our preseason draft, we pick our players, and yes, I chose the grenade. Am I worried? No, because I know one, Puya ain't gonna win anyway. So stop it. I have to get grenaded to lose. Puya literally goes the entire season and just loses. Right. So it's coming. I'm not worried about that. And also, I haven't lost yet, Rob. I've been here before.
You've been grenaded before, okay?
And
you've had the first pick in you've had the first person out of the season and come back and win and won thanks to Marianne and Mike Turner.
Right, exactly. And so I still have 2 more players left, Rob. And between you and I, it's not looking great.
Yeah. Who are your 2 there left that can come back and help you win the draft?
I have Blanketship and Brandon. Those are my 2.
Okay.
And like I said, not looking great. The premiere was not great for your boys' draft. I do have to concede that.
Okay. All right. Well, we will talk about all things from the premiere. Of course, it's been a great week of podcasting here on RHAP. The fun thing for me about getting to do the feedback show on Mondays is that I've gotten to listen to almost every one of the RHAP podcasts. So lots of great podcasts from, of course, we had Kevin Jacobs on the B&B. We had Claire from Big Brother and the Amazing Race on with Taryn on the Survivor Stockwatch. Nick Iadanza, not just on Pod Friends, he was on with Shannon Gus, Dr. Amanda Rabinowitz filling in for Jessica over on the Why Blank Lost, and then Bryson Wen, fresh off of the trip to Toronto, back with Jack Atkins to recap the premiere. So a ton of great coverage there, in addition to everything that I've been doing.
Rob, you really built the premiere. I would call this an official Survivor podcast community.
Yes.
You really built that, and it goes to show you whenever you look at this Survivor show, you get the know-it-alls, you get the feedback show, you get the Bryson win, you get all these things. You even get honest to goodness doctor of brains to come on here and talk about a man's concussion that happened in the first 5 minutes of the episode. You got it all here, Rob. I think you're doing a great job.
Yeah, well, thank you so much, Chappell. Not to mention the other podcasting that you and I did this weekend, doing the greatest TV dad bracket of all time, and also we recapped we recapped everything that was going on with Chris Rock over on Netflix.
Yeah, and I did get in a little hot water about that today, Rob. I'm not going to lie to you. So I am currently banned from Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
Currently suspended.
Over that?
I crafted a tweet about the special, and I hit send, and immediately it said, "You have violated Twitter's rules. You will be suspended for 12 hours." And I thought, like, it's a soft violation. Like, I've seen way worse things said on Twitter. And I just feel like I'm being discriminated against at this point. But yeah, that podcast was fun, but I can't talk about it yet legally.
Yeah.
Or Elon's gonna get me.
Okay. All right. Well, we're not going to worry about that right now. You're here with us. Okay. Twitter's loss is our gain. We were talking right before we came on the show also that we are going to be together in a couple of weeks when I do my first ever live show here in my hometown, Raleigh, North Carolina. Tickets are on sale to all. Rob has a website.com/Raleigh to come out and see us. And some of our Survivor friends will watch the show live. I had a call today with the Duke Energy Center that they were talking about the screen we're going to watch the episode on. They called it IMAX like.
Ooh, very
okay.
fancy.
Forget Avatar, Way of Water.
That could be really bad, Rob. You know, like the first episode, if that was in IMAX, I probably would have passed out because the slow motion on Bruce's head
Bruce's
with
blood,
his
yeah,
and then like it is so nasty and gnarly and stuff like that. And now it's going to be in IMAX. Maybe you should do 3D next time. Let's see how far we can push this. But it does make my heart smile, Rob, that you call Raleigh your like your hometown.
My new hometown, yeah.
Yeah, because like in my mind, that's me welcoming you to like be a Southerner now. You're now one of us.
Yes, we're one of us. Okay.
Yes.
All right, well, let's talk about this Survivor 44 premiere. And, there's been a lot of talk about, everything with the advantages and the idols. And I don't want to dwell on that too much here tonight. I wanted to really be out here looking for the fun from the Survivor 44 premiere. Chappell, what was your reaction to what we saw the 2 hours the other night?
Rob, I was miserable the whole time. I told you my draft comes first. Okay, so I was tapped in. I was trying to see if I had any wiggle room here to do well in the draft. And then I started to realize that 2 out of 3 of the people that I drafted might be legit and like crazy people. Love them both. But I thought, if you had told me any of this stuff before you got on the show, I wouldn't have picked you. I'm looking at you, Maddie. I know you're listening. And Brandon is not listening. But listen, dear God, y'all are embarrassing me. I wish y'all had just told me that y'all were like, I can only do things one way, and that's full tilt. That's not how you win Survivor. Ask Kobe. Like, damn. So it was a fun ride watching my slow descent into hell. But as far as the show goes, I like that they're trying new stuff. There was this cold opening that we'd never had before.
Yeah, actually, I have that for you. Can I play that for you? Okay, this was the opening to the show, and I don't know. I thought this was a bold choice.
All right, Carolyn, you ready?
So I'm just talking?
Yeah, to me. Just pretend it's just you and I shooting the bull.
About what? Saying who I am?
Yeah, I'm Carolyn. I'm a drug counselor. I'm from a suburb of the Twin Cities. Whatever you want to say, however you want to phrase it. Make sense?
I thought that was a bold call because I was like, they legit made a mistake. Like this is like they put the wrong thing on.
No, this was dope. I think I like that they're trying new stuff. They do a lot more with the opening as well that I liked. But I think Carolyn's the perfect person for something like this. You also think about it in the past seasons, right? Like, what if this is one of the Christie brothers? And it's like, okay, you're Drew Christie's the meat collector. This could be fun. And so I liked it, but it was very different. It's not your mom and dad Survivor anymore. This is the new era. I also appreciate those. It's like a little montage that they did at the beginning where each player is basically just going like, wow, I'm on Survivor. Oh my God, wow, that's crazy. Yeah. And I was like, when did this become The Price is Right? Like, it's very much a game show now as opposed
You're right.
to
That's a good call. Yes, Price is Right is a show where that part of the excitement of the show is, that like, hey, this is, for, the people that love the show. You wear a t-shirt that says pick me, Drew, pick me, Bob. I wonder. You have people on the show that are like their Instagram handle is Jeff Probst. Can you hear me? How long will it be that we come full circle to Vanuatu when Bubba wore a Bob Barker t-shirt that we will have a contestant on the show that is wearing like the sorry for you t-shirt or some sort of like, I have a Jeff Probst shirt. I have a Jeff Probst tattoo on my body.
Yeah,
it's
or
coming.
Like the fan made buff or something like that. It's definitely coming. Because Rob, back in the day when and I would go prior to you playing Survivor, it was so serious. It was just like, you have this person on here who, okay, we brought in this person. What skill set do they have to help us survive? Rudy's gonna build a latrine. Cool, let's figure that out.
Yeah.
Now it's just like, we forgot about the surviving aspect. We came here to play a game, and it's very much a different feel. And I don't dislike it. It's just trying to get used to that.
It's a great point, Chappell. In the Amazon, I literally got yelled at constantly about you are not allowed to talk about past seasons of the show. They did not exist. They are not. You are not allowed to. Jeff Probst himself yelled at me at the very first tribal council that I went to, where he asked me a question about something, and I said, when I'm at home watching Survivor, and he's like, no, we are not talking about you at home watching the show. Like I'm talking about right now here.
Yeah, and now
they did not talk about the TV show on Survivor once upon a time.
It wasn't a show. It was different. It was like a social experience that we just happened to be looking through a window at, or outside our window at. So they didn't want you to say that, oh, I used to watch this on TV. Now, Rob, we get this show opening with a GC sighting. GC was on this episode. That's crazy. Yeah. I mean, I saw Natalie White. I thought the show didn't even acknowledge that she existed. Sydney from Co Wrong was there.
Is that Sean Kniff?
That was Sean Kniff. I was just like, what's happening? All the fan favorites were there. And I was just like, this is insane. What happened to like, oh yeah, we're in the wilderness and anything can happen. And we have, this is a different thing. This is like, we dropped you off on an island to play a game. This is no longer a marooning. You know what I'm saying? So it's a different feeling, but I don't hate it. It's just different.
Yeah. All right. Well, everybody, come on down. You're the next 18 people to play. The adventure is right.
The adventure. The Marianne voice again, like it's it's just a whole different opening than we're used to, and it's legit. Each of them just screaming, just like I'm on Survivor. Like, imagine Timbertina acting like that on the first episode of like Panama. It's just not something you get. It's a completely different feel. Where's Sari complaining about the leaves? That's what I need. That's my Survivor.
Yeah. If you're scared, I don't think you get on the show anymore.
Nah, you got to come out here with first. You don't have to have seen the show. Now, I know that for a fact. I'm looking at, again, my draft pick, Brandon. He should have just told me he'd never seen the show. And you have to come in knowing that this is a game. You're gonna play hard. It's not about surviving. We might actually let you die if it's good TV. But this is a new era, man.
See, I disagree. I think that they're actually more protective of the survivors than ever before. Even though what happened in the first episode, like, I kind of feel like that. Maybe if this was once upon a time, you don't even see medical on some of these things. Constantly, every medical checkup was like how you doing? It was basically like, rub some dirt on it.
I watched Eliza get her head smashed into a thing. I've watched Eric Reichenbach hit her with a huge ass like medicine ball bag.
Right.
Poor Chet got dragged through that thing, and like at no point was medical like, Chet, are you all good? Do you have a concussion? Should we get you checked out? No, there was none of that. That's back when Survivor was the wild, wild west out there. It was quick and dirty. We didn't do all these medical checks. But Rob, what is the point of the medical check if you're just gonna be like, all right, contestant, you could be dying. We could take you out the game. But if you say, I'm okay, we'll leave you in the game. Now you get to decide. Play for $1 million, potentially go home. You choose. And they go, I think I'm good, Jeff. He says, your eyes are open. And Bruce, they are open. I think you're good. Let's get you back out there. It's just not, it's something about that just doesn't feel like production really wants you to know that you cannot die on the show. I think they still want it to be an option.
I think that they're very protective of the contestants. Once look, Jeff's not a doctor. That once the doctor gives the thumbs up, obviously everybody wants people to stay in there. Bruce himself wants to stay in there. I thought that there was some good points that Amanda and David had made on the Why Blank Lost podcast about maybe that those decisions should not be in the hands of the contestants. Like maybe like in the NFL, that there should be like independent people that say, okay, we're making the call. You're going to the blue medical tent, Bruce. It's not like, hey, Bruce, how are you feeling? Are you good to go back in? And so, but if the doctor says, hey, you're good to go, if you're Jeff and obviously the producers, they want to keep people going in the game. Let me play this though for you, Chappell. So they had Bruce restart the challenge. Jeff said, all right, Bruce, you do the honors, okay? And you say, Survivor's ready, go. And then the challenge starts, and this is what Jeff had to say.
It's back on! Now you got to get your head back into this game.
All right, Jeff, now come on.
Dad, come on,
too
Jeff.
Soon.
Yeah,
Too soon
you gotta
on
get your head back in the. We get it, Jeff. The man has a concussion. Dear God, half of his head is underneath. It's in the mud over there. Dear God, yeah, you get your head back in the game. He has to go pick it up. He has to go pick it up off the ground, Jeff. Thanks for bringing that up. Again, Rob, you're caping for the show, but it does feel like Jeff being like, this is Survivor. You just shake it off, rub some dirt on it. The most egregious thing wasn't even Bruce. I know it looked like it was, but they allowed Matt to scale that rock with no type of harness, nothing. And they're just like, he fall like that man could have broke his neck. Let's just call it what it is.
Yeah, I couldn't believe this. I said on the know-it-alls, I'm like, why are they allowed to climb the rock? And Steven was like, what? You can't say that. What are you going to tell people not to climb the rock? Jeff on his podcast said, we would never tell anybody not to climb the rock. But Nick Idanza told Shannon on Australian Survivor, they have a rule of anything that's over your head. That's it. You can't climb on anything.
Angelina climbed a 400-foot ladder, but at least it was a ladder. It's meant to be climbed. This man was scaling a rock with his bare hands, and the camera guy wasn't just like, hey, chill out. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's easy.
Like,
easy
let's
peasy.
get the drones.
Right. Yeah. Like, bring in the chopper. It's just like, dog, just tell that man to get down, because worst case scenario, he literally dies in that moment. Rob, they told you not to go in the water. They can tell them not to climb the rock. Kobe complained about All-Stars. I couldn't get in the water. I just couldn't go. I couldn't go diving or nothing like that. This was crazy. It was not All-Stars. Heroes versus Villains. It was just like, yeah, they have rules. You can say there is a rule to this, and it's don't go potentially put your life in danger on this show that is supposed to be designed to put your life in danger.
Yep. Yeah. Okay. Well, people want that adventure.
I don't mind it. I just really want you to just be like, just give somebody like a little like, hey, chill out. Like a little nudge, like, hey, player, hey, straight up, like, come on. Like that's simple to me. We've seen it in the past, though. I mean, we saw Ozzy climb countless coconut trees. People have been doing this since the beginning of time, but it still doesn't feel as dangerous as climbing up the side of that boulder. That was just different.
Chappell, Matthew said that he does not want a midlife crisis. He wants a midlife adventure. As one of my close friends, could you help me plan my midlife adventure?
And see, Rob, that's really tough because you've already done Survivor, which is, we know, the ultimate adventure, as the show tells us. So, I mean, is it another show? Is it just like a thing to knock off your bucket list? Do you want to climb a 400-foot ladder? What you got going on? What do you
climb anything?
What would be the most, because you've done the outdoors thing already, so you're constantly indoors now, we know that, but like, what would be the most thing, like the most far-fetched thing for you to do?
I don't know.
Do you want to host like a TED Talk? You think you could do a TED Talk?
And that's not really adventure. So you're saying I gotta like go on the challenge? Is that what you're saying?
No, you've already done a show. If you want to go on a challenge, Rob, I think you'd be okay. Like challenge, well, Paramount challenge though. You can't. Well, I don't know, Rob. You're getting kind of long in the tooth. Not to call you old, but these young survivors, they weren't. They played.
I'm younger than Enzo. Okay.
Who isn't? Like they. I'm just saying, a lot of these people played within the last 5 years, Rob. It's been quite the stretch since you were back on the island.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, we'll let the people on Twitter tell me what they think we should do. Should we
I'm
answer some
seeing Naked and
questions?
Afraid, Rob.
Naked and
Nope,
Afraid?
I'm
Yeah.
seeing Naked and Afraid. Rob, would you do Naked and Afraid?
No.
Why not?
I would not like to be either naked nor afraid.
Yeah, being naked and afraid like at the same time actually kind of does get my blood boiling a little bit, but it's not something that I would do for, the amount of time, like out in the wilderness. Like, let me be naked and afraid in my house for like 5 seconds. Like, that's kind of cool. But just for that adrenaline rush. But I think that's like the closest thing to Survivor. I mean, we do have a Netflix show coming up very soon called Outlast. Do you think you would be the first Survivor player to cross over into what that reality show is going to be like?
I know we're going to talk about Outlast on Nothing But Netflix this week. I have no idea what it is. I know Mike Bloom has recommended it, but I have no idea. I think they're in the Alaskan wilderness. I don't like the cold.
You don't like the cold. You don't like the cold.
Mhm.
Well, you ain't like piranhas and you still went and did it. You wore your little G-string
true.
thing that they told you to wear,
I
so
mean,
you
it was
was
a
fine.
Speedo. It wasn't a G-string.
Well, tomato,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. Let's take some voicemails from the listeners. Okay. And why don't we take one from Kendall Zeb has a question. And this is something that I would love to get your take on involving maybe a brand new Survivor power couple. Here is Kendall.
Hi, Rob. Hi, Grenade. This is Kendall Zeb.
Kendall
My question is
Zebediah!
regarding this showmance that we were getting teased before the season, and judging by the first episode and the previews, is looking like it's going to be between Franny and Matt Blankenship, which for the record is a normal last name. I do not know what you were all on about dunking on it during the draft, but besides the point, I'm proposing a new shield strategy that could utilize this duo. We've seen the meat shield strategy, we've seen the brain shield strategy, but could we see a love shield? What I'm suggesting is if someone wants to team up with Frankenship, as I'm calling them, take them to at least the
Yes.
jury stage, that's a strong duo that people are going to want to split up. And then once you split them up, you kind of have to take the other one out because you got one on the jury who is assumingly a sure vote for the other in the finals. So I want to know what you guys think of this strategy, if you think it's a good one, and who from the Soka tribe you think might try and utilize it.
Okay.
Cool. Thanks. Bye.
All right. Chappell, tell me, first off, what's your reaction to Matt and Franny? Potentially a romance in the works.
I thought you were gonna ask me my reaction to Kendall Zebediah calling me out. Listen, the grenade has a
It's
name.
rude.
The grenade has a name. Also, I was the one caping for the Blankenship name. I do not agree that their name should be Frankenship. I'm really thinking more like
I kind
Blanny.
of like that.
Blanny's better. I'm sorry.
Blanny
It's
is
short.
better because Frankenship has ship in the title.
Yeah, but that's why it insists upon itself, like we don't have to do that, and then of course it's too long. The characters that it's going to use, the hashtags a little messy. Kendall Zebediah, check yourself. But to answer your question, we've seen this kind of like thing happen before, right? Where somebody like knowingly teams up with the meat shield or the relationship, right? Where everybody's saying, when are they going to cut them? They can't go to the final three with them, blah, blah, blah. It happens. So I do like it as a strategy. And I'm not gonna lie, Franny and Blanketship, they're so precious. I'm really hoping. Like, do we know for a fact that they're the showmans, or is it just like speculation?
I think that it is all but confirmed. I mean, I didn't really get that vibe from the episode, but then the preview strongly suggested it. And then when I went back and rewatched the episode, and I've watched this episode multiple times, that I feel like that it is very much in the subtext in terms of the interaction between the two of them.
All right, well then I'll be the one to kind of just like poo-poo this idea then a little bit, just for the sake of conversation, because I do think they look precious. But way back when, we saw the same thing happen on Survivor David versus Goliath, right? Where it looked like Kara K and Hot Cot Dan, Chicken Dan. So Hot Cop Dan and Kara K were a thing on the show. And then all of a sudden, we're like, wait, who's missing? Who's missing from the reunion show? What happened? Did you see the Instagram post? It's Alec Merlino. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh my God, that's Alec Merlino's music. So this does not necessarily say this is the showmance that will lead to the. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Look. Never mind. But yeah, this doesn't necessarily prove that this is the showmance, even though, like America, I am rooting for this as well. Because they look so precious, Rob.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like if not Frankenship, who would it be? You know what I'm
So
saying? Like, what are other options?
I don't think so. I don't think we have them. We don't need to go through them. But what about strategically? That do you feel like is there any issue with aligning with a potential brewing showmance? Say if you are a Claire, if you are a Heidi, Danny or Josh, that if you're working with these two, are you concerned?
It's power in numbers. So what you do is you align with them. That's an automatic 3. You know they're never going to turn on each other. So you really just have to make sure they don't turn on you, which in a normal alliance, you have to manage all of the pieces, right? Like this person can look at you tomorrow and say, what if we voted out this person? You're like, no, I thought we had a good thing going. So once you align with the showmans, they're not going to turn on each other any soon. It'll be fine. So that gives you like a solid block of votes. Now, the thing is, of course, they're a showman. So they're like a big target as well. So eventually someone's going to try to pick off one of them and they're not going to come after you. They're going to come off after one of them. And then whichever one survives is your new final 2. I don't think that's a bad idea at all. I think you just kind of ride that one till the wheels fall off. You just kind of just hang out as long as you can with the showman. Somebody's going to get them. You're like, oh no, they went away. And then you got the other one. And if you could get rid of the other one, like both of them before jury, and it's just not your fault, they could both vote for you because you are always fighting for the showmans. It's the move. I'm telling you.
Chappell, I wanted to get your predictions on how, for lack of a better term for right now, the Frankenship. How do you think that this turns out? Okay. All right, we got a couple of different options for you. This is, happily ever after. Okay. Frankenship goes on to be, another one of the latest in a long line of happy survivor romances. B is they don't last the season.
You mean they're broken up?
Yeah.
Before the season.
They don't make it through. They don't make it to the end of the season. I guess I don't want to put too much pressure on them. All right. Does the relationship make it to ultimately them being out of the game?
Do we get a David Murphy? That's what I'm asking. I want to know if we might not get the end of this saga right now, but a Survivor.
Now the turnaround on this would be, for the full Murphy. For one of them to make like a real like big stump speech at the final Tropicals and then propose to somebody. Now again, we don't get a live reunion show anymore. They would have to at the end of the 26 days later propose marriage.
Oh, you know what? We missed a step. The full Murphy only works if you're on 2 different seasons. We should not know that these people know each other. It has to be like somebody from 41 proposing to Franny or Blanketship, because that was the thing. I didn't even know that Murphy and Carolina were a thing. How was you supposed to know? They weren't on the same season. So I love a messy reality TV proposal. I do. I love somebody just hijacking a finale, or you're interviewing the winner and then somebody just gets down on one knee. Like a Mike Boogie and Big Brother.
Very romantic. Yeah.
Yeah, very romantic. Effing romantical. And so I love that. So give me something like that with one of those characters. But I just don't know if they I feel like by the time the season is over, yes, they will still be a couple. But I just don't know enough about them to know if this is the one, the couple that was promised. Is this the new Rob and Amber?
We're rooting for them. Will they be on The Amazing Race, Chappell?
Yeah, 100%. That's a requirement, right? Like if you know anybody else on reality TV, you have to go on The Amazing Race. Now, do they win The Amazing Race? I don't know. I mean, could they be the person to win Survivor and then backdoor and win The Amazing Race in the same year? Who knows?
Maybe. Going back and watching the episode again, I think that's something I did not really appreciate the first time through was how fun of a narrator Matt Blanketship is. He was really, really fun in just the way that he talks, and his cadence is really, really fun. This was one of the clips that I pulled from him in the episode.
I'm super stoked, but I'm also terrified. I think that's real scary.
Real scary. I too am super
stoked, but I'm also terrified.
Yeah. I think this is a good point though. Even strategically, if someone tells you to go to Sack Rock Island or Big Rock Island or whatever it's called, I think in a vacuum, it's like, yeah, there's an opportunity for me to get a thing. But I do want to talk to you about like some strategic implications of that.
Sure.
Do you have a second?
Yes.
So what we've come to find is that no matter what happens on that island with the ship wheel, the sack rock, whatever the case may be, the person is going to come back and lie. They have to. It behooves them to come back and tell a bold-faced lie. To the point where every person on the show is lying about their experience on it. And if they're telling the truth, it doesn't matter, because at this point, you should be assuming that that person is lying. Rob, is there any real benefit to going to one of these things if everybody's just going to automatically assume that you are a threat moving forward?
Well, I think the benefit is that you get a thing, but not only is it like totally like random chance, you put your hand in the thing, you pull the thing out, you have to pick again, but it's also seemingly random chance what thing you could get. I mean, you could get something, and Shannon talked about this quite a bit on the Survivor Global recap with Nick about how Lauren's thing was a bupkis compared to the inheritance thing that Sarah got, which could potentially be super valuable.
Yeah, she got the Monster Reborn card, is what I've been calling it. It's like you lost these things, and now she can scoop them up at the end, and then tomorrow she will be more powerful than ever. Yeah, it's a good point. And like all of these people are incentivized to just boldface lie, because I have to assume if you leave my island that you're going to come back with something so powerful that none of us can beat it. I think the train of thought should be let's just vote them out. Let's see what happens. Let's roll the dice, split the votes on them, try to get them out of here as soon as you can, because they're not telling you the truth. Why would they? And then, Rob, these stories are getting so outlandish now. It really is. And some of the things on Survivor are so wild that it's hard to believe them anyway. I think Mike Bloom was talking about how, like, if you actually told people what happened on Island of the Idols, they wouldn't believe you anyway.
Yeah.
But I am interested to know, like, the evolution of these stories. It's like, okay, so they got me on the boat. It's me, it's Jeff, and it's Oprah. And like we're all there sitting down, and then like Oprah tells me, like, you have to choose between Gayle King and Dr. Phil, like which one, and then you pick one, and then that person gives you a key to the bird cage just in the nest. You know what I'm saying? Like at some point, just come back and say, yeah, I got something. Y'all know I did. Stop it. I don't know how far this goes.
But Chappell, the fake stories they tell are never like an interesting fake story. The fake story they tell is always like what happened on the previous season of the show. So if it's like, okay, yeah, they just did the same thing that they did in Survivor 41. It's the same thing. It's just they did the same thing. That's how you know they're lying, if it's the exact same thing.
Yep, we got to Shipwheel Island. You're lying. Like,
yeah.
Empty your pockets.
Wait,
you're
you're telling me Survivor, the show that can't stop making up a million new things to confuse everybody, did the exact same twist?
It's Survivor
I guess they do. They also do kind of do that.
They do. They will run it back. But the lie is always, remember that thing that happened last season? That happened to me, but I didn't get it. I'm sorry. Lost the vote. Sorry. Like everybody's story is exactly the same. Like, remember this crazy thing that we saw? Yeah, I did that and lost my vote, man. It's some crazy stuff. I just feel like at some point you just have to come back and say, y'all know what the game is. I came back with this thing. I got it. Don't come for me because I'm going to use it. You know what I'm saying? And then that'll get us to a swap or a merge or something. I don't know.
Yeah. So, all right. That's what's going on over there with the people that went to Shipwheel Island. But I thought that it was such an interesting moment that happened at the reward challenge where, the immunity challenge, where Claire had the opportunity to talk to Matthew. I want to get your reaction to this moment that happened between Claire and Matthew.
Excuse me. Did the person who went to the island show you anything when you got there?
She said she lost her vote, so we don't even know if she got it.
He showed us the thing that said I lost my vote. So I like you.
Yeah. So this was turned out to be a big moment in the episode, but for Claire, who saw Blanketship's thing, like, what was she going for? Like, what was what would she hope to have happen? Was she hoping that the person from Matthew's tribe had been lying, that she could snitch on somebody?
I think it doesn't matter. I think what she's doing here is just trying to find some common ground to make a cross-tribal alliance. That's why she says, I like you. And he goes, okay, and just turns around. Well, what she wanted was, I like you too. We should work together. Yeah, like there was no response. We got no follow-up. Like, I like you. all right, and back to the challenge, So I think she was just trying to build some type of bond there. But I really because that's what they do in Survivor. You're walking around and someone says, "I get a really good vibe from you. Do you think we should just be a final two? It's the two of us, right? It's been 30 seconds. I like you a lot. I like you too. We have a lot in common. We're both from the States. Like that's a thing. And so I think that's really what it was. Just trying to find any way, which I do like, because Rob, these players now, because the game is so gamified, they come in and they're just like, how can I get the edge, even if it's a little bit? Do I talk to the people like secretly? Do I bring back the little sheet of paper and then sabotage everybody else? Do I pick the rocks so I know which rock to choose? Like that people are like doing whatever it takes. And so I appreciate something like this, but I think Claire's goal was just like, hey, I'm Claire. Nice to meet you. See you at the merge.
I like you.
Yeah. I also like the beginning. This was like big cheat on the test energy from Claire. It's like,
Excuse me.
Hey, psst, psst, hey. He's like, what? Stop calling my name. God, I'm working on my like, watch your own paper. Jeez. And Matt was giving that energy. He was kind of just like, what? She's like, did you hear the thing about the paper? He's like, no. She said, I like you. And he just goes, And he's just like, And there's so much lying going on Survivor that we see this in another iteration of Survivor that I don't want to mention because I don't want to make this the Australian Survivor versus US Survivor thing. But we see this a lot where someone will come to you and tell you literally what you need to do to save yourself. And you like, put all your votes on this person. Trust me. Okay, cool. We're not doing that. Can't believe that. Sorry. So maybe in the moment he's looking at Claire like, she's lying to me. I don't know what she gained from lying to me, but she's definitely lying to me.
Yeah. I love this moment. It was really, really fun. And I'm surprised that we haven't seen more of this in US Survivor. I hope that, Claire is the person who gets something started.
I would rather this be a thing than to the whispering at tribal council and us not hearing, right? Like I would love for like Matt chat whispering and hugging each other after the challenge and slipping idols into each other's pockets and all that kind of stuff, because there's so many advantages on this show that is really hard to keep up with. These people we know can never keep a secret. And so that is definitely more fun than just like random people standing up and walking into different corners at tribal council.
Is it just me, or are you feeling like this is like, are we like a great alliance or what?
Yeah, it's like, yeah, this is awesome. This is great, huh? Great, yeah, you good? No, okay, I like you. I really like you. It's like, give me the Claire version. I'll take it.
All right, Chappell. Let's talk about what's going to happen now here. We had where, some of your draft picks were got into it in the first episode. And then we saw Idol played at the first tribal council for the very first time in Survivor history. Our friend Josh Green has a question about what comes next.
Joshy.
What's going on, Robin Chappell? It's Josh Green calling in. My hometown is pumped up because Brandon Cottom went to high school with me, and he had a great premiere episode. Really stoked at his possibilities in the game. My question is about these birdcage idols. I like them more than the Beware advantages, which is not saying much, but I think that this can add a fun dynamic to the game. I'm sure you'll talk about it. But my question, simply put, do you feel that there will be a new idol hidden in the RHAP birdcage? Can't wait for the podcast. Thanks.
Like they wake up and there's something else in the birdcage. Like they're just going to keep dropping off stuff.
Birdcage.
Yeah.
Chappell, you don't think there's any chance they're going to do that, right?
That would be absurd, but of course, we have to leave the possibility open. I did see people tweeting during the show that they wish that someone could just Yao Man the thing and just break it open. I was like, that doesn't seem like it's off limits. But a part of me kind of looked at this like, don't it feel a little cheap, Rob, to just like, we've never seen a bird cage on Survivor before, and now all of a sudden it's like a thing that matters. Is this like, how do you feel about the bird cage? Like, what if there was a bird cage in the Amazon?
I mean, there were a lot of tropical birds, and the women's tribe was Jabiru, which was a bird. So, I mean, maybe it might have made sense. But
you could keep your chickens in there. It's a whole thing.
Yeah, does a bird cage fit in the theme? Because, there is kind of like, for a show that doesn't have themes, there kind of is like a theme to Survivor, and it's kind of a cool one. This idea of, it's kind of like medieval times / chessboard is kind of the theme. Although the birdcage, I don't know how that necessarily fits into that.
I don't get it. Josh Green is from Philadelphia, and there is a YouTube show called Survivor Philly. For if you're listening to this, you might be
Yes,
familiar
I've
with it.
heard
If
of
you're
it.
not,
Yes.
this birdcage was very Survivor Philly. It was very much like, hey, we bought this from Home Goods or like Pier 1. We had it laying around. We got this little trinket. Let's just stick something in and see what happens. Not to say that they've done that on Survivor Philly, but like the budget's a lot lower here. It gave me other vibes of another show that I won't mention the name of, but they use like random Tupperware containers and threw tennis balls in it. This just feels like they found this item. They needed to do something with it. Somebody donated some bird cages to Mark Burnett or something like that. And so they just like, let's just put an idol in there and see what happens. But you could have hit the thing. They just put it in the middle of the forest. I think
I like it. I think it was
Yeah?
I think it was interesting. But I wonder if it was like sort of like missing something where like I
Yeah.
wonder if there was like if it was missing something like, hey, there is a hidden immunity idol in the birdcage and have no key. Have no lock. Where it's just like it's in the middle of camp and it's just there. And then it's like, all right, now the tribe is like, well, nobody's going to take it, right? Like, it's like now they have to sort of like talk it through of like who gets the thing. And maybe they're going to wake up one morning and that thing's going to be gone. And there's going to be a lot of fighting about that, where I almost feel like that by hiding the key and not even hiding the key like exceptionally well, it's just sort of like that, you could have just hid the idol on the ground like that. Everybody knows that there is an idol. So like, I feel like you are almost like under delivering on the promise of like what the public idol could be by hiding the key. I know that they're hoping that somebody is going to find the key solo and go into the birdcage and then take the real idol and then put the fake one in there. But they just don't know enough information to have the presence of mind to be doing that.
I think that this is where I got to pick on my guy, Brandon. I did draft you. I picked you first. And so I have all agency to talk about you. This is where a seasoned player would get away with that. Somebody who knows what they're doing, who watched the show, they would know. I found this key. There's a birdcage there. I should not tell people. One, it might be a beware advantage or something like that. You really don't want people knowing all that stuff. But then two, it's Survivor. Stop telling people stuff. Knowledge is power is a thing if you've seen the show before. So you wait till everybody leaves. You go in there. They give you a fake idol to leave there. You could literally put that bag back in there. Like it's something in there.
But he didn't know that thing was going to be in there. Like I think had they known that this was a thing that could be there, maybe he would have acted differently. But Chappell, I'm glad you brought this up because I did a really deep dive into all of this. That I started a new series called The Survivor Burning Question. I already I went back. I watched this so many times and really did a whole deep dive into what should have happened with Brandon and Maddie and why did this unravel the way that it did. And I posted that video for the patrons on Friday. I'll release it as a podcast when we get closer to the episode coming up so everybody can hear what I had to say in the burning question. But Brandon didn't think it was going to be an idol. He thought that it was something that was like a tribe reward. He mentions it a couple of times. He says that tribal council, he's like, for the record, I didn't think it was going to be an idol. I didn't know. He also says in a confessional that he thought it was going to be like some sort of like tribe item that he was going to be able to use to like for the benefit of the tribe so everybody would like him. He was trying to build trust with everybody.
What? That doesn't make any sense as a Survivor. What are you talking about? You watch other seasons of the show and you hope that everything you touch, you hope that it's an idol. You pray to God.
He's a team player.
He's not a team player. He's not a team player. He effed up. This man really, that's what happened. That's what happened. He messed up because he even had the chance to use that idol and say, hey, Maddie, it's me and you. We know it's an idol. Let's do this thing. He's like, yeah, I don't trust Maddie enough. I gotta tell everybody. Like, sir, that is the wrong answer here. You tell Maddie, then vote her ass out. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't. Oh my God, just watch the show. Watch the show. When was the last time we had just like a team advantage at the camp, and all you had to do was find a key.
Since
when?
The medallion of power? Yes.
Right.
When?
Since when? Since Nicaragua? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what? Are you kidding me? And I know he ain't seen Survivor Nicaragua. Brandon, stand up. Stand up. Dude. I'm so mad at that. I think it just hurts me because I was rooting for him. We were all rooting for him, all that kind of stuff. I drafted him with my first pick. And then you go, and then you, on top of all that, he had the audacity to post the Twitter video of him saying in the interview beforehand, like, and I know I would never tell anybody where my idol is. No, sirree, Bob. If I find me an advantage, it's for me only. Stop playing in our damn faces. Stop it.
Now, do you feel like he may have been very depleted from the sweat challenge?
Why did you pick the sweat challenge, Brandon? Like, dear God, what is wrong with y'all? Y'all don't have any food. Why would you do something? If you had seen Survivor Winners at War, you would know that moving coconuts is hard on Survivor. It literally almost killed Ethan Zahn, who has survived cancer. Like, you cannot do this. This is dumb. This is a dumb mistake. And also, like, you ain't try to let the milk out the coconut or something like that. Like, damn, try something.
Oh, that's a good hack.
Do something. Yeah, like, all you had to do was count the rings on this thing. And you see, I love Carson so much. He literally points this out, Rob. You see us. I am the muscle on this tribe. Bruce is a walking zombie right now. He's literally the Walking Dead. I am the muscle. They're like, yeah, the guy with glasses, he's not going to know how to do the puzzle. Brandon, wake up. I know he said I want to bet on myself, but this is Survivor. You don't do that. That's why you get voted out. I'm so worried. Oh, my God. I'm going to lose the draft, Rob. No.
Hey, you've won one.
But I want to win them all. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not even about me winning. It's not even about me winning, Rob. I just need Shannon to always lose at everything in life. You know what I'm saying? Like, if that could just happen consistently, then I'd be fine. But to really put my life in the draft on Brandon and Blanketship, who I do love as well, making it to the final three and Blanketship winning because Brandon stopped it. You know, like, I just feel like I'm at my wit's end here. I'm struggling. It is not a good day for Chappell.
Yeah. All right. Let's stick with that tribe. Let's take a question from Joy Davis, who wants to know about what is Matthew's best move post tribal council. Now, we got to learn a lot more about what had happened, really from Maddie, specifically from Maddie's post game press. Maddie, you know, if you know, depends on whether or not the exit interviews are canon.
They are
but
not.
According to Maddie, basically that she ultimately begrudgingly told Matthew about the plan to vote out to vote out Brandon. And then ultimately Matthew told Brandon what was going on. And it seems like Matthew played his shot in the dark to kind of like make his vote disappear, to not have to cast a vote at that tribal council. Where do you think Matthew ends up now after this? Is he in a very good position moving forward?
I don't know, man, because if Matthew is like, okay, I know Brandon might survive, so I'm not going to vote with him. Like, what is the benefit of him making his vote disappear in this moment? Because if Brandon plays his idol and Matt and I guess maybe he thought he could get a vote potentially. Like, what does he think is going to happen here? Why does he want his vote to go away?
I think that he might have been thinking of, okay, well, I'm not 100% sure that Brandon is going to go through with playing his idol. But if he does, like, I don't want to cast my vote where it might potentially vote the wrong way. Maybe he was unsure about which way the vote was actually going to go.
So vote for someone else. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, I don't understand the problem. You know, look, you're looking around your tribe. See, this is why I love and despise Maddie for putting me through this in the first episode, because Maddie was already selling us a bill of goods. She told Matthew, "Hey, you're strong. I'm strong. We don't need the football player." And he's like, "What are you talking about? Did you just not see how that challenge went? Where the strong person you're talking about is on the sideline and the football player is out there dying trying to do this after doing the damn coconut challenge? You know, like, so." You are already like blowing smoke anyway. So then you tell me that, okay, like, well, he thinks Brandon might come back potentially. I guess they assume Lauren is not going to vote him out. Like, I just don't understand why you make your vote go away. Just vote for someone else. It doesn't matter. If Brandon's coming back, then you're still in charge.
Yeah. So Chappell, now I thought I had a really good sense of what was going on, but now my head is spinning because you have reminded me that the person that I have gleaned the most information about what is happening in Survivor 44 is potentially an unreliable narrator with admittedly a supersized hangover.
Maddie told you verbatim, I am hungover. She said those words. And I've said those words to you before too. And after that, everything after that, I cannot be held accountable for. You know what I'm saying? And don't get me wrong, some of this stuff sounds really cool. And I'm not saying that she's lying by any means. I just think that the plan is just kind of convoluted. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you think Brandon is coming back, you don't vote for Brandon. If you think he's going to play his idol and he's not voting for you, vote for him anyway. If he's coming, if you're not going to vote with him, vote for him. Is the what I made my vote disappear? Like, I made my vote disappear. You know, like, that's not going to do anything. It just wasted just the shot in the dark. You know what I'm saying? Like, now there's 5 people on your tribe. You might need it. I'm just saying, sir, with one arm, they might be trying to get rid of you to keep the tribe strong.
Maybe. All right. This is a really good thought that came up. So, of course, our great friend Kevin Jacobs was on the B&B this week, and he was talking with Mike and Liana, and he observed very astutely that Jeff Probst, there were 2 shots in the dark. Jeff gets the one from Jamie and the one from Matthew. He says, Jamie, I'm going to put this one over here. Okay. I'm going to open up Matthew. Matthew, you're not safe. And then goes to Jamie. Jamie, you are safe. Tell me this, Chappell. Did Jeff know Jamie had the shot in the dark that would be making her safe? And is that why he opened her in the most climactic way possible, opened her shot in the dark second, even though he received it from her first? And if so, how?
I don't think he knew this. What you think Jeff is really like, oh yeah, this is going to be great for dramatic effect? Like, no,
yes.
Sir. No, because what did that change?
Have you watched this show?
But what did it change? Like, it's like, oh shit, she did it. The end. You know, like that's it. Like,
but he has, look, the man is a professional host. Okay. He has 2 shots in the dark. He knows. Don't open the first shot in the dark. If he did know that he would have done it exactly the way that he did it. But my question is, could he have possibly have known? And I really don't know. I'm not saying like, oh, the shot in the dark is fixed. Because if so, why here? Why of all the times?
What is the reason?
It makes no sense. But he had to have known because that they like, I don't know, like, do they have like some sort of like QR code on the thing where they can scan it? I don't know.
Stop it.
How does she hold it the whole time
until
I don't know, but I'm telling you, based off of how he acted, why would he say, all right, I'm going to take this one, I'm going to put this one here, and then I'm going to open this one first? Like, it was a magic show. Like, there's no reason why you get a shot in the dark. All right, let's see. Jamie, what do you say? Jamie even went up first. So there's no reason why you would open Matthew's shot in the dark first, unless he felt like the only other logical explanation could have been, all right, I know Matthew is in no danger of getting voted out of this tribal council, and so that's why I'll open up the Matthew one first. And Jamie, people are at least talking about putting votes on her, so I'll open her second.
That makes so much more sense because she's the one who obviously feels like she's a threat. I mean, a threat to go home because she says, "Hey y'all, I'm playing my shot in the dark tonight. Just let everybody know." So you kind of want to save that one for somebody who actually telegraphed that they were doing it. Matthew was like, "Oh, you did this? Oh, okay, fine. Let's see if you're safe. Like, we know you're safe. We know no one's voting you out." The entire episode they talk about Matthew is the only person who knows I survived out here. Dear God, I hope that he doesn't fall off of a rock and kill himself because I don't know what we're gonna do, you know. And so Jeff knows he's not going anywhere. He does. He knows he's not going anywhere. Jamie was the one who's like, I'm getting the vibe. I have to play my shot in the dark. From Jamie's perspective, she should be playing the shot in the dark right there. I mean, if you're trying to keep the tribe strong, you in danger, girl. So I think that's the right move. I don't think it's shenanigans and Jeff Probst knew. I don't think so.
Now, there are some folks in the chat, okay? And Paul Wright says, the ribbon color theory makes sense. I'm going to rewatch that. Is it possible that all the shot in the darks have a different color ribbon and that Jeff knows what color a correctly pulled shot in the dark would be?
Man, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, it'd be different. I guess we can
Somebody
just
go
pull
look up the
picture.
ribbon color. See if there's a ribbon color.
Send us a ribbon color, and if there's a ribbon color, I will concede. But right now, just kind of just like, oh, the people are saying the colors are different, Rob. I'm seeing it in the chat. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, if the colors are different, then maybe that's what it was. Who knows?
I mean, and you go in, you pick one out of the bag blindly. You can't see what the ribbon color is, and you don't even know what the ribbon color is. It's like, oh, I got a blue ribbon. And I'm like, okay, well, is that the right one? Who knows?
Maybe when you pull it out, you know, like it's like production is like, show us your, you know, shot in the dark. You know, show us the ribbon, basically. Or like hold it up to the camera. You know what I'm saying? And so then they're radioing in Jeff's ear, like, Jeff, this is the one. It's like Jeff's
we got
like,
one. We got one. We got one, Jeff.
And Jeff's like, you're kidding. This has never happened. Preposterous. And they're like, no, I swear this is the one. He's like, Blanketship? Yeah. Is it Blanketship? They're like, no, not Blanketship. The other one. What? Jamie Lynn? Her? I guess I'll save her for last. I don't know. This is going to be a tough one. I got to make this suspenseful. Maybe they do that. It just feels like a whole lot for very little payoff.
Again, Chappell, I can only tell you what actually happened where he says, okay, I'm going to take this one and put this one right over here. Why?
Yeah, he did do that. He did do that. But if you want me to be in the mind of Jeff Probst, I have a lot of why questions for him. You know, like you know, about these injuries specifically. I have a lot of why questions for Jeff. But I think that's a good shout. The people with the thread, you know, if you see it, production probably sees it instantly when you pull it out. You show it to them like you would show the parchment or whatever.
Nothing to chance on this show.
Right, exactly. And so they probably show it to the camera, like, let me see it. All right, cool, you got it, and then you head off. So yeah, that's probably what it is.
Yeah, I feel like we got to the bottom of this.
Yeah, I think so. I didn't know this was a mystery. I just thought people didn't care. Like I was like, I didn't know we were good. I didn't know we were going there today. I got to put on my glasses. Where they at? I'm blind. I wasn't prepared to go look at the thread on the parchment.
Okay. All right. Let me take you a question about Jamie, who did play the successful shot in the dark. John writes in. John S says, what did Jamie do to the Survivor editors to do her so dirty? We know from Exit Press she was in a lot of danger. And instead they made her look like a paranoid dummy for playing her shot in the dark. They hung her out to dry. Did she run over someone's dog?
That's very specific. Do we know, did she have a pattern of running over people's dogs? Like,
I don't think so.
All right, yeah. I don't think it's that bad. Because, you know, like you said, according to Exit Press, well, that person went home. So, you know, like maybe they were missing a step here because Jamie didn't tell anybody she was going to do it. And maybe that makes people rearrange their votes and they put them on someone else because, like, what if Jamie hits it? I don't know if that's what's going on here. But, I mean, from my point of view, I never saw anybody really say Jamie was in danger. I know that as Jamie being a smaller person on the tribe, in a competition where physical strength is going to be a thing, maybe she's like a default for like, you probably going to be number one. But and that's why I don't begrudge her for playing the thing. Like you know, common sense would say like you could be getting a vote or something here. But like I said, I didn't think the edit was, you know, bad for Jamie, who like since she doesn't go home.
Yeah. It wasn't bad, but it did make it seem like that she was just playing the shot in the dark for no reason. And according to Maddie, there was a lot of talk about Jamie, and that's why she was paranoid. So they sort of made it seem like that she was just like, oh, she's just being paranoid. Like,
but shouldn't she be, Rob? Right. Like, shouldn't you be? If you're looking at the tribe, right? We know Lauren potentially has a bank of vote or whatever. Like, she's lying about it, but we know she probably has something. It's very obvious to everybody who played this season that Brandon and Lauren are somewhat aligned. We know that Lauren is aligned with Maddie as well. Nobody is like, you know, who's my number one? Jamie Lynn, you know? So I think if you're in that situation, it's a small tribe and you know your vote is not going to change anything. Why not? You know, like this is not like Matthew who's like, I'm gonna play mine to make mine disappear. It's like, no, I'm using this to try to save myself because I'm probably gonna get votes because I'm the older woman who is smaller than everybody else. We've seen it time and time again.
Yeah. Chappell, what do you think about this? Jamie told us this up front about how maybe she had a little bit of help with the shot in the dark.
Oh.
I've learned that our word is our wand. You speak it into existence and it happens. I am going to be the next sole survivor. Bing, how are you going to do it? I'm going to build personal, emotional connections. Bing, bing, bing.
Bing. Okay, your word is your wand, Chappell. Did she manifest the shot in the dark?
Oh, I mean, would she? I mean, don't get me wrong. I think that there's powers in words. Yeah, Uncle Carl is somewhere shaking right now. She's trying to sell his whole steez. But I do think there's power in words. I do think like if you believe good things and you attract, like you have positive energy, then you will attract positive energy. But I'm 100,000% sure that every person who's ever played Survivor has said, "I'm going to be the sole survivor." And so, if that's the case, she might just have a little bit better, better mojo than some people, like she's got some better karma going on because it definitely worked for her. And if she's right about the shot in the dark, maybe she's right about the whole season. Maybe she's our winner.
Could be.
Yeah, I wouldn't hate it. I should have drafted her. Who drafted her? That's the question. That'll tell you if
Jamie?
I hate her or not.
I don't know. I think Jamie might be out next.
She's in a tight spot. She really is. She doesn't have her shot in the dark anymore. That's not great. But again, everybody turned on Brandon. I don't think he's long for this game either. Like even his allies were like, "I'll just rather not vote than be tied to you in this moment." I don't know. I think this tribe could be a hot ass mess, and I'm excited to watch it.
Yeah. According to our handy Survivor 44 draft, Jamie is on Team Taryn.
I could take a Taryn win. Yeah. Keep the winner circle tight. You know what I'm saying? We don't need to let any others in.
Yeah. Also, I do think that maybe if she does go home next, maybe the editors do not want to waste all of the Jamie is the boot material on an episode where she doesn't go home.
Yeah, that's exactly. Like, why talk about it if like that's not the suspense of the episode? The suspense of the episode is Brandon going to go home here? Because he has his idol that everybody knows about. He should not be in danger in this moment. Like, I just don't see a world where this makes sense because that challenge about killed all of y'all. And so, what do you plan on doing if the challenge is similar to that next week? You're going to lose, and if y'all keep losing, like, you're going home. Like y'all are each going one by one. So. I don't know. Maybe that's why they built so much suspense around Brandon and just kind of like, okay, we'll save Jamie for later. But I like Jamie and I hope she does really well.
Okay. Chappell, let's talk a little bit about Carolyn. And, of course, that she opens the show. She's such a big character, had a bunch of really fun moments from the premiere. What's your reaction to Carolyn after one episode of the show?
She's exactly what I thought she was going to be. And I like that a lot because she told us who she was in her cast preview. You see that? She told us who she was so that we could draft correctly. And so because of that, I'm not surprised by anything she did except for that cold opening. That was pretty cool. But I think
who lied to you? Who lied? Brandon?
Okay. Though, yeah, for one, he lied. Yes. How you just go? You said Danny because he was the only football player you knew who played Survivor. Stop it. You're nothing like Danny. Danny would have not told anybody. We've seen Danny play multiple games at this point. He is savvy and not Sweat, So anyway,
he did do Sweat, to be fair.
He did. But so you got Brandon definitely lied to me. Maddie really didn't lie to me. She did say feral, and that is kind of wild. I get that. I have been called something similar before in the past, so I get that. But I also think that I would not go on the game show to like play feral, in the first week.
Who's the biggest liar in this cast in their interviews?
I have to go with either Maddie or Brandon because they let me down. I would not have picked them if I thought they were going to go first. Either one of them had the potential to go first, and both of them
I don't think Maddie lied, and I'm not sure if Brandon lied.
Don't say Danny's name if you're going to get out here and like tell people about your idol instantly. Basically just completely. First of all, I'm not going to talk about his physical strength at the challenge, but that wasn't great. And but it's just like, man, say you had to play your idol the first week.
You're not sending Brandon out to participate in the challenge?
If I have to pick somebody, I'm going with Danny. Just right now, Danny. I might call Gary Hogaboom and see what he's doing. But Brandon is like plummeting down my rankings. Man, Alan Ball, what is he doing? Yeah, where's he at? So I don't know. I just feel like I feel like I was sold a bill of goods.
Yeah. Okay. A Seahawk is a bird.
Oh. Is that going to be in the cage?
Go back to the cage, yeah.
Yeah, is that going to be in the cage? Yeah. But then the man who finds the bird cage key, who played for the Seahawks, was like, yeah, let me do the most obvious finding of the key. I did not want to go in on you, Brandon, because I was rooting for you. We have the same damn name. We have the same initials. So, okay, here we go. Brandon finds the key. He like, okay, I think Maddie's around here. I gotta hide it. I gotta find the key. I gotta hide this key discreetly. Maddie's standing roughly 5 feet away from him, and she's like, I see Brandon acting weird. Then he goes and puts it in his pocket, and it's protruding like Rupert and that damn rock from Survivor Heroes versus Villains. Like, it's like, hey, look at me. I have something in my pocket. It's just like, oh God, what's happening? Then he goes and says, look, it was right here under these leaves. No one checked here on the ground. It was so much going on that I was just like, I was so frustrated. Man, I need him to bounce back. I need him to win this game, Rob. I don't want to lose.
Okay. We're going to come back to Carolyn. You know what was interesting when I went back and watched the episode? So Brandon receives the medical attention. And then while he's recuperating, like his tribe has to continue to do the challenge without him. Like that was wild. And they didn't make all right, everybody sit one more person out. We're down to 4 people in this challenge. They just said, all right, he's winded. Everybody else. It was almost like what is that?
That's my issue. That was my issue with them trying to vote him out.
A power play?
But here's the thing. You saw how you performed without him. So what would possess you to go back and be like, okay, Matt, we got you. We got me. We got Claire. Like we got Lauren. We're about to knock this one out the park. Hello, we just played this game. And yeah, he already did the coconut challenge. He's tired. Y'all haven't really eaten that much. You don't do these two things back to back. I still don't understand why you decided to do sweat. I heard his reasoning, but it's still wrong. But yeah, it's like this guy passes out. They say keep the party going, and your tribe just gets decimated. Yeah. What do you think is going to happen next week?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think? Just a ballpark figure. Like, you think you're gonna win the arm wrestling match next week? You know what I'm saying? Like, this is a bad decision making for me. That's all I'm saying.
All right, let's go back to Carolyn, who all right, you were right. She is who we thought she was. Okay. And so here she is though. And Bruce is medevaced out of the game. Mm-hmm. And Carolyn is kind of on the outside looking in strategically. Here's what Carolyn is saying about her position in the game.
I keep finding myself wanting to run over there, but I can't be that person. I'm just like, what's going on over here?
Yeah, can't be that person.
My favorite person in that scene is not Carolyn.
Who's that? Jam Jam?
No, I love Helen. I love Helen in this moment because Carolyn's talking to her at some point and goes, back home, everybody's telling me like, oh, you're so weird and you're so different. And Helen goes, no. Like, not you, not they have to be wrong about this. Stop it. Like, it is the most transparent, like, what? You? Carolyn? Like, I was like, Helen, play the game. I see you, social game queen. I like that. That was so funny to me.
Mm-hmm. What advice do you have for Carolyn Chappell when she's flustered? She feels like she can't just go up to people and be like, nobody's talking to me.
What advice? Yeah, I think she just really has to find a strong number one. You need to figure out who's in charge and make yourself not expendable to them. Like, they need to know that you are a number in their pocket, because if you can't just walk up to conversations, then yeah, it means you're not that engraved, or maybe you're just too paranoid to just let things ride. So find the person who's tapped in, who's in the hub of things. Where's Cassandra? Find that person and latch on to them, because they're not going to let you get left behind. If you start to insert yourself in all these conversations and become a nuisance, of course, then people are going to want to vote you out. So, kind of do what's it called? Cat's paw. Let somebody else handle the social part, and you just be likable enough to where nobody wants to vote you out. Then, in the meantime, find Ilo.
Do you see a person that she could potentially partner up with?
Okay, well, who all do we have on their tribe? Because this is
so
new to
it's
me,
Carson, Helen, Sarah, and Jam Jam.
No, she's screwed. I'm sorry, Carolyn Dare. No, I'm kidding.
She is in a tough spot, because we saw where Carson and Sarah and Helen kind of have a 3. Mm-hmm. And then I don't think that Jam Jam is going to potentially go down with the ship. So I think her only hope is that they keep winning these challenges.
And that does not look great. They would have a better chance if the other tribe voted out Brandon. That would have been great. Let's just hand them let's hand the guy with the glasses the savvy challenge. That works out. Christian Hubicki, what are you doing over there? Why don't you come do this puzzle? So I think they have things that they could win. And if they do have any physical things that they win, I'll be very proud of them. But I am worried. I think we should be concerned. But yeah, I think she's in a tight spot. Honestly, the way you just outlined it, it looks like she needs to be trying to get rid of Jam Jam. And Jam Jam just seems like just so much fun. Like I just don't see them wanting to get rid of them.
No.
Pray
And
for the
he's
merge.
so valuable to the tribe.
Yeah, pray for the marriage.
Mhm.
You know, or find an idol. That's a thing. She can find an idol, right? They haven't found their idol.
The birdcage is still closed.
Birdcage is still closed. Carolyn, get in there. I think that's what she got to do. Now that would make me worried about some of the other people on the tribe, and I really like this tribe, Rob. So I don't really want to see any of them go, but
No.
it would be a bad move not to bet on them going to tribal council at least once in the near future.
Yeah. All right. At the end of the challenge, then, Chappell, there was another iconic Carolyn moment after the immunity challenge.
I peed my pants.
What did she say?
What she said was,
I peed my pants.
I'm still not catching it, Rob. What did she say?
I peed my pants.
Nah, I think she said she peed her pants.
Holy smokes.
Oh yeah, holy smokes. She peed her pants.
Mhm.
I'm sure that happens on Survivor a lot. I mean, Rob, you know, you lived that life, right?
Yeah. Now, do you think is that what happened? Do you think in the first challenge, where is this sort of like maybe an ongoing issue for Carolyn, and maybe that's why? All right, these pants. Let me just take them off. Let me change them, and maybe that's
She got to do what she got to do. You know, if I feel like if you're about to piss in your pants and you're on Survivor, you got to take the pants off. And you know, it did not help her in that challenge at all. But at least she didn't get her pants all pissy. Now it was for naught because in the future we see her pee in her pants. But you know, I think that if she has this issue, at least it looks like she's trying to manage it.
Yeah. So all right. So look, there's worse places
To pee?
to have that happen. Yeah.
Oh, you mean like worst places to be like to pee in your pants?
I mean, honestly, I love like all the different places to be. Like peeing your pants on Survivor is like nothing.
Right. These people are aqua dumping, you know, like they cannot judge you for a pee in your pants on Survivor. Throw that shit in the ocean and come back fresh and new tomorrow. They all, it smells crazy out there anyway. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's not like that's going to change anything.
Probably the least embarrassing place you possibly could pee your pants.
Yeah. Literally nobody would care. Like, oh, they peed their pants. Ha ha ha, he, and then go on about your day. You know what I'm saying? But I found an idol. Unless you get voted out for aqua dumping like Darnell. Justice for Darnell.
Yeah. Well, that was in the wrong place.
Yeah, it was in the water. See, he should have pants dumped.
Yeah.
Yeah. If he does there, then he sticks around a little bit longer. I think one of your tribe mates invented the pants dump.
That was unintentionally, but perhaps a great discovery.
Allegedly.
Gastrointestinal distress, I believe that might have been.
Yeah, coined by our favorite know-it-all.
Yeah. Chappell, somebody that we haven't talked a lot about is Danny. Not Danny from Survivor 41. There's actually a Danny on this season. Did you know that?
I was going to say, keep my goat's name out your mouth. No, there is a Danny on this season. I'm just not quite sure which one he is. Could you point him out?
Okay, so Danny, if you don't know who we're talking about or what he looks like, Danny was at the center of a secret scene that was given to our friends over at Entertainment Weekly. And so Dalton Ross, in his recap of the episode, and also he had an interview with Jeff Probst, they got an exclusive secret scene where Danny describes himself and his look. Chappell, I want to know if you have any thoughts on this.
People sometimes get a wrong impression of me. I have maybe like a bro-ish frat boy jerk look. That's right. Sorry. I've been told once I look like I'm perpetually stuck in a dude's night out.
It feels good to know, living in New York, that he's the one who will say that.
Once you get past the fact that, I look like a extra in like American Pie 5, I think I'm a pretty cool guy.
That's your man. Right there.
Okay. Danny says he looks like he's stuck in a perpetual dude's night out, and he could be an extra in American Pie 5.
That's a deep cut reference right there, man. When was the last time anybody mentioned American Pie on television?
Not recently.
Was American Pie 5 a thing, or is he like saying like if there is a fifth one? Because I remember band camp.
That's a good question. I had asked Sam Moore if that should we work on the plot for American Pie 5. He said that there already is an American Pie 5.
I think technically Bandcamp is 5.
No, I think that they started just like making up ones like National Lampoons. Like they just like it's American Pie, like a foot long hot dog. That they.
No, Rob, I'm confidently telling you that American Pie 5 is Bandcamp. I had it on DVD.
DVD. Okay.
I had it on DVD.
No,
I'm telling you.
American Pie 5 is American Reunion.
I thought that was 4. What am I missing? Am I missing one?
You might be that. And then there was also like one like Naked Mile or something like that also.
No, I had that one too. Listen, what was the order of operations? Give me the list.
Okay, American Pie franchise. Okay, here we go.
Right.
All right, American Pie, a film series. There was, I believe, 1999's American Pie, American Pie 2. Okay,
Yes. Continue.
And then there was American Wedding, American
would be 3,
Reunion,
and that would be 4. And what's 5, Rob? Ding ba bell.
I guess is that the spin-off series?
No, same
again,
series.
Is,
American
well,
Pie
hold on.
Bandcamp.
Is like Hobbs and Shaw?
Stop it.
Fast 8.5.
Fast 8.5. Look, I don't ask me about the Fast and the Furious franchise. You know, I've only seen one, and by one I mean the second one. But yeah, American Pie Bandcamp is the 5th iteration of American Pie. I had that one and the Naked Mine on DVD. I got it on from Walmart out the little like the $2 bin. It was like the double disc set. So I already knew the answer to this one, Rob. I'm sorry. Ring my bell.
All right, there you go.
There you go.
Chappell, then I got to thinking about, the American Pie movies. And, I thought that maybe there might be some way to incorporate this into what we do here on the Survivor podcast. So I asked our honorary third co-host of Nothing But Netflix, ChatGPT, for some help.
Okay. And did you ask ChatGPT to answer in the voice of Jennifer Coolidge?
No, I should have.
You should have.
So I asked, and it's all connected. That's Stifler's mom is connected to Mike White, of course. So I asked ChatGPT, can you write a new sequel to the American Pie movies starring the former players of Survivor?
And what did ChatGPT say?
It said, of course. Okay.
Of course.
Yes. All right. Here we go. According to ChatGPT, the movie is called Survivor's Pie.
I get the title right itself.
And it follows a group of former contestants from the hit reality show Survivor as they reunite for a weekend at a lake house. Okay.
Why would they be at a lake house? Okay.
They're reuniting.
Let's just tweak it a little bit. They
Okay.
reunite in Fiji.
Okay, fine.
All right. Yeah.
All right. Reunite in Fiji. Okay. And this might be a spicy weekend at the lake house because
Some
according to
prices there.
ChatGPT, the group includes fan favorites like Rupert Boneham, Parvati
course.
Shallow, Tony Vlachos, and Sandra Diaz-Twine, who are now all in their 40s and 50s.
So this have to happen like next year or Rupert's out. No, I'm joking. Okay. I really think we should.
Rivalries going on here.
Can we punch this up though? Like, dang, ChatGPT, we've had other players play than these like 7-time players. And you picked everybody who has played Survivor more more than anybody else.
This is a lake house reunion. They're reuniting to reminisce.
Pick some people that we want to talk about that are interesting. Like these people, we already done this.
All right, Chappell. Well, here's where the plot really kicks in. Okay. As they settle in for a weekend of reminiscing and catching up, the group discovers that one of their former tribe mates, Richard Hatch, has unexpectedly passed away.
Damn, RIP.
RIP.
Yeah.
To honor his memory, they decide to recreate the infamous naked challenge from their season of Survivor.
Was there a naked challenge in their
This
season
time,
of Survivor?
with a twist, they will bake a pie while naked and present it to a panel of judges.
I need you to pause. We just need to stop down. Who is remaining who is in the lake house currently? Let's go through each of stop laughing. Who is in the lake house? Rob. Who is in the lake house currently?
Rupert,
Okay.
Sandra, Tony,
Okay.
and Parvati.
Okay.
And Richard Hatch is dead, and
Okay.
they're honoring him by recreating the famous naked challenge and with a twist of making a naked pie.
Okay. Now, follow me on this one. Rupert did have a naked man in one of his challenges.
Yes.
Parvati was naked in the hot tub. You see where I'm going with this?
Mhm.
Richard Hatch, we know, is always naked.
Yeah, Tony did inhale a pizza pie at one point.
That too.
Mhm.
I think he's the only person who's not connected to a naked challenge. So it was pretty close.
Okay. So I don't know who the panel of judges are either. Okay. The
Can we draft them?
challenge the challenge becomes a hilarious and awkward bonding experience for the group as they fumble their way through the baking process and try to avoid burns from the hot oven.
As someone who has baked naked, it is tough. It is tough. It really comes down to oven mitt placement. You know, like that really is that's the game. That's the true game.
You have to be careful. Yeah.
Yeah.
Along the way, they also confront the challenges of aging and the chances that and the changes that have taken place in their lives since the show.
Yeah. So Rupert, we
Because
know
it's an American Pie movie, you know, it's a coming of age story.
That's the whole point. They have to come of age, even though they're in their
They're
50,
old.
well, creeping up on 50. Yeah. Pushing 50, if you will. You know, I think Rupert really could talk about his political moves, you know, like we know that he grew up and went into politics. We know Sandra will never stop playing Survivor. We
Right.
know I don't know what Tony's doing. We know Hatch is dead. So they have things to talk about.
As the weekend draws to a close, the group realizes while they may have aged, their love for each other and their shared experiences on Survivor have only grown stronger. They all leave the lake house with a renewed appreciation for the bonds they formed on the show and the lifelong friendships that have come out of it. Survivor's Pie is a nostalgic and heartwarming tribute to the beloved reality show filled with laughs and a healthy dose of nudity.
I mean, as long as we get the nudity, that's what we really came here for. Because ChatGPT is phoning it in. There's no, these age-old friends, Sandra and Parvati. What are they gonna get into back in the cabin when they're naked? You know, all right, ChatGPT. But when
is this what Sandra and Parvati need?
Do they need to it's like the opposite of that friendship shirt. You know, the one that you put two people in the shirt. You just get two people naked and then handcuff them together and then just make them spend time with Rupert. I think that would bond anybody, actually. Spending time with Rupert.
Yeah, actually, this sounds a lot like my season of Survivor, to be honest.
Oh, but how so? Because I know you did have two people naked for chocolate and peanut butter, but where does that put you?
Oh, well, you had people getting naked, and then people used to always say that I looked just like the guy from that movie.
Did they say that? Was that a thing?
Yeah. Oh, Chappell, one time in 1999, somebody came up to me and said, hey, you know that movie, American Pie? Yeah, you know the guy who has sex with the pie? Like you look like that guy, but you are that guy.
Oh, so Rob, you had sex with a pie.
No.
Does pie flavor factor into will you have sex with it? Like, is that a thing you take into consideration? Is there a specific pie?
I mean, I don't think that you should have sex with a pie that you wouldn't eat.
I think that sometimes foreplay is necessary in pie sex. Sometimes you got to eat first. But Rob, I think that if you really looked at that statement, right, where they think you're the person, no, they know you're the person who had sex with the pie. I think you really should have a backstory for okay, why did you pick this pie? Why did you pick that position? Because we all saw it. Rob, what did you respond to this? Did you say I've never had sex with a pie, or did you say that's not me?
Yeah, well, I don't think that this person thought that this movie is a documentary. I don't think he thought that this was a true story.
He definitely did. Back then in '99, remember when people thought the Blair Witch Project was just live footage that somebody played on a movie screen?
Yeah.
People were dumb back then. We were dumb back then.
Yeah, and there was a webcam, so maybe I don't know, people thought that was happening live.
Do you think Jason Biggs actually had sex with the pie? Do you think
I don't think so.
Was this
No.
CGI pie?
No, I think it was fake.
I feel like he's a method actor. I feel like he really is one of the people who's really going to get into character.
Yeah. I don't know.
Okay,
I guess,
Rob,
yeah.
one more question.
Yes.
How much money would it take for you to have sex with a pie? If I said, okay, $1 million, start there.
I mean, I feel like this is like a Black Mirror episode. Is this live or is this in private?
Rob, I don't want to see it. I mean, if
Okay.
you want to show it, I'm gonna look, but I'm not. I don't want to see it. You could go handle your business in private.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, $1 million. No one would ever know.
I mean,
It don't gotta be intimate.
yeah, for $1 million. I mean, in private, there's no camera.
Yeah, and you ain't gotta kiss the pie. Just get in and get out.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is an easy yes. I think my wife would be furious with me if I said no.
Is it cheating if it's with a pie?
I don't think so.
I don't know. Well, we've talked about Nicole in the past. I think she might kind of.
I mean,
she might
look,
be upset with the
look,
pie.
I gotta be honest. Is she gonna be a little jealous? Maybe.
A pinch.
Maybe.
Oh, so this is Goofy Gal. You know, it's like this is an apple pie.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So, and after this, I think.
Kane, is it possible that tonight's tribal in a way could be like therapy? The 5 that go back will say, okay, now we're a group.
Yeah, I think it's more like registering for like 12 months of therapy because
Yeah, I will need at least that.
After the pie, or you mean after the season?
I think after the podcast.
After this podcast?
Mm-hmm.
Bro, this is fine. This is what we do.
Fine?
This is what we banter. Yeah, we talk about Survivor and pies.
Yeah, I'm fine. I don't know if the audience is.
They're listening. If they weren't listening, then they would never know. So if they're still here because they know what kind of show this is, or what kind of podcast this is. Do you think that survivors actually sign up for therapy after Survivor, or I guess my question should be, should that be in your contract? Like, should you have to go through some type of sensitizing thing once you come off the show?
I mean, are we serious now, or are we still having fun with this?
Well, because I know the Big Brother players just go out into
Yeah.
the wilderness and get their phones and just be like, kind of they get whatever
Yeah.
comes to them instantly.
Survivor, I do feel like tries to be more responsible with its contestants than Big Brother does, which Big Brother, and we love Big Brother, but Big Brother could not be less responsible with its contestants. Basically it's like, all right, finale's over. All right, here's your phones, everybody. Have fun. Okay. Don't take it too seriously. Stay off the internet. Smell you later. Okay.
Right.
I mean, Survivor does have psychologists and people that here's numbers to contact, and that they kind of look into looking after you after the show is over. So is it mandatory to do any sort of psychological check-in after the show? No, it is not, to my knowledge. But I do think that they do try. And in some instances have gone, I believe, even in the case of Zeke, have gone and really gone and tried to do a lot for somebody who has had a traumatic incident on the show.
Yeah. See, my issue is not with therapists being on the island. It's definitely that, what you were just saying, how Big Brother just kind of pushed them out into the wilderness, because we watch these people forever. They have no clue what we're talking about. We have built narratives and got receipts for them for months. And then they come out and we're just like, haha, look at this, all this stuff. You just rip the Band-Aid off. It's a little problematic for me. I really wish you would just ease them into the water a little bit more. But it does make me feel good. And I pick on Survivor a lot. So I do have to give Survivor its flowers and saying that as long as it's heavily suggesting that, people are not trying to vote you out at work. Everybody's not conspiring against you. They're not looking for idol. Let's slowly bring you back to reality. You don't have to eat, bugs and stuff anymore. You don't have to sleep on the ground. Let's just kind of work them back into society. I really appreciate that from Survivor. Go Jeff Probst.
Yeah, Chappell, when I played Survivor in Survivor the Amazon, that I think I got voted out on a Friday. I got voted out. I lost the game on a Thursday night, and I was back at work the next Monday.
I know this story, and I know it well, and that's why I had to ask the question. Because Rob, remember, you caught the to-go trip in All Stars, right? You got to go on the excursion with the old people. But here's the thing: you were kind of messed up after All Stars. You're damn.
Oh, sure.
Did they reach out?
I was not messed up at all from Survivor the Amazon. It was it was the season that I was there for 12 days that really did a number on me.
Got you. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. Like after 12 days, they should be like, okay, before we send you on this trip, well, you good? You everything all right? Because you was just the golden boy a second ago, and now we're kind of shipping you off with Richard Hatch.
I mean, not to make this all about me. They didn't do too much. You know,
I didn't think so.
They're like, you'll be fine. Rub some dirt on it.
It's been 12 days. You'll get it. Shake it off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's all I wanted to know. Good question, I think.
Okay. All right. We've got some more stuff to talk about from this premiere. Let's see. I've got some social media stuff. Let me just see. How about this question from our friend Rob H, who says, do you all think that this is going to be a great new era season of Survivor or a great season regardless of era?
See, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I think it's one of those moments where you have to look at Survivor the new era and compare it to the old era. They were using the old era to like highlight some of the Survivor players. Like I said, my King GC, they hoisted him to the front where he belongs. But you know, it's not the same game at all. You know what I'm saying? Like, GC has never been to a Rocked Up Island. You know what I'm saying? Like, he doesn't know what that's about. So I don't know. I think this could be a great season of Survivor. But I think you cannot compare it. Like if we were doing our rankings, Rob, like how do you compare this to Borneo? It's just not the same, you know?
Yeah, I think that would be tough to compare it to. I mean, Borneo is such an outlier in that, you know, it's hard to compare Borneo to, you know, heroes versus villains, let alone Survivor 44. So it's like a whole different animal. I mean, it's crazy that like, you know, that these things are all called Survivor, but you know, it's almost like, you know, looking at like professional football from like the 40s and comparing it to now.
Yeah, and Survivor
like
never
before they wore helmets and stuff like that and had a forward pass.
Yeah, so the one thing Survivor has not changed is that they're still wearing the soft helmets. You know, like they have not gotten that part under wraps.
That's true. That's true. Maybe we should see survivors wearing helmets after this episode,
or at least some type of knee pads. I don't know. But it's very different. Like you said, even with basketball is another sport where people like try to compare the greats. You know, like oh this person scored 100 points in a game and was like the leading scorer of all time, but he's playing against peaceful farmers. You know, and like mailmen. You know, and then you got like Michael Jordan who plays against this group, and then this whole generation had to play against LeBron, like literally 55 years of basketball, and everybody's had to go through LeBron James. So it's hard to compare eras. I think that this could be a good season of the new era. I don't know if you could touch the magic that I used to get from like Pearl Islands. You know, like that is my season of Survivor. We all know this, but I just feel like it's really hard to capture that without all the other elements, the geographical elements of like, you know, like the getting latched on to what the community is that you're in, the traveling, the theme, all that stuff, the characters. We got Carolyn, but it's Carolyn or Rupert, you know, like that's what I'm saying. I need them to go back. I want that old thing back, Rob. That's what I need.
Yeah, I don't know if it's ever gonna be that, and if it is gonna be that, I feel like I don't know if it's ever gonna be that for us. Like maybe if there are like, you know, new people who come to the show, you know, teenagers who are just like discovering the show. Like I'm not gonna say that this season can't be their Pearl Islands, that they might not fall in love with the show, and I do think that this could be a really, really great season. Probably more of like a great season of the new era. But, you know, when we did our best of the year or the year in Survivor, you know, I was actually a little surprised. Mike Bloom and Shannon Gus, you know, two great historians of Survivor. Mike, literally a Survivor historian. They said, hey, Survivor 42 is not a great season of the new era. Survivor 42 is an all-time great season. So I do think that we can reach those heights. It's just a little bit different of that. The show, I think in its younger days, as has been, you know, talked about ad nauseum on this network, you know, was more of a slow burn at times in its past. And now it's just like a nonstop barrage, but is often elevated by the amazing casts that we get on the show.
All right. Well, let's play a game. You ready?
Yeah.
Knee-jerk reaction. I just want a yes or no.
Yes or no.
Is Survivor 42 better than Survivor the Philippines?
That's hard for me because I know where I
Wait,
ranked
yes or
Survivor
yes or
Philippines. Yeah,
no, Rob?
let me think. I mean, I'll say yes.
Oh, okay. Okay, I wasn't expecting that one. Is it better than Survivor Token Jeans?
I mean, I am not the all-time like Survivor Token Jeans fanboy. I'll say
I mean, you could call Jordan Kalish. I know he did do that countdown podcast for you. I'm sure Jordan Kalish would have the data for you.
Mm-hmm.
Ali
I'll say
Lasher as
no.
well.
I'll say
Okay.
no. Yeah.
So better than Cambodia?
No.
Better than Survivor the Amazon?
I mean, it's not my place to say.
I mean, we did get a satisfying winner. Okay. All I'm saying is, if it's better than those seasons, then yeah, Shannon and Mike might actually be right. You might have a top 10 season of Survivor, but I refuse to believe that. I'm sorry. It just doesn't feel like a top 10 season of Survivor to me. It feels like a really good season of what we have now. And so that's where I have to put my argument, because you can't convince me that that was better than, I don't know, David versus Goliath. I love that season so much. Or China, Micronesia. Like those are classic, like iconic like series of television, not just Survivor. And so I think that's where the separation comes for me.
See, for me, David versus Goliath and 42 are closer together because, I mean, I feel like that I can sort of like squint and see that they are the same show. It's harder for me to like compare Survivor 42 and Survivor Token Jeans. Like, it's like, it's so like distantly related that it's hard to say that it's the same thing.
Yeah, that's why I picked China, because I love China, and it's almost, China's almost different from a lot of other seasons of Survivor just in general, just because it's so location centric, like everything was Chinese, and we got to literally watch them interact with the culture. And there's no culture in this season. I'm sure there's something. I'm sure people love chess. I don't know, but they're two different monsters. That's all I'm saying, is that I hear Mike and Shannon, but at some point you're comparing apples and oranges.
Yeah. All right. Let's talk about some of the things that are going on outside of the 2 hours of Survivor, unless you have anything else that you want to make sure that we hit from the episode.
From the episode, let me check my notes. I had a horrible draft, rocked up island, blah 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 blah. Nope, I think that's good. I think like, again, it was an episode. I don't know if this was a good episode of television, Rob. It was a lot of twists and turns, but I don't think the juice was worth the squeeze. Is that what you say? It just felt like a lot of nothing. And so I'm hoping that we bounce back next week with a stronger episode.
So I would say, to address your point, that going back to, and this is, I think, the same discussion that we're having about these other seasons that are more of a slow burn. We're sort of like in the Survivor superfan community that like, we're almost like, film buffs that are like, why don't they make a movie with a story anymore? Why don't they make, why don't they make a great movie like movies from the 70s and 80s and the 90s? And it's like, this movie had plot development. This movie had this. And now, like, Survivor is not that. Maybe it once was, but Survivor is a popcorn movie of, there are explosions, there are like the plot is implausible, like the writing is like unbelievable, but if you sort of like suspend your disbelief, you can be entertained. And I think that's really how you have to enjoy Survivor in the new era. There's a little bit of a cognitive dissonance in that it is not what it used to be, but it still can be fun. And unfortunately, I think the sad truth is that the less you are invested in the product, the more you will enjoy it. So I think it's sort of made for people who are more just like I said, the dreaded C word of, if you are not paying attention as much to Survivor, you might enjoy it more than the person who is really, really trying to pay attention to everything that's going on, because it makes no sense.
Right. And I'll just make like a really bold claim with no basis at all. But it does sound like you got the film buffs, you got Roger Ebert, right? and he's probably talked about Citizen Kane. You know, like this is a genre-defining movie, like Rosebud. It broke records. You know, it's all this other stuff. And then it's like, but do you want to hear him talk about, you know, Fast 10 this year? You know, Fast X? Probably not, right? Because he can't compare those two things. It's like, yeah, you can still go and enjoy it, but it's not even the same. It's like, yeah, it is a movie. They have that in common. So yeah, and then again, for the people listening to this, we watch all this stuff. We get so far into it because we like the show. I'm not complaining about Survivor not being good anymore. I actually really liked all 3 of the last seasons. Cancel me. I don't care. I like them all. And so yeah, I just don't think you can compare it, like Rob said, to some of the classics, because it's just not the same anymore. We're not milking from that cow anymore, if you will.
Yeah. And look, there's a lot of hype around this season, and maybe this is a season that ultimately does give us that, and we will see.
Rob,
but it seems like it does seem like that for a number of reasons, like where sometimes we can get that in some of the other international formats. It seems like that it is not exactly what the premise of the US Survivor is trying to deliver.
And that's okay. You know, we can still enjoy this show for what it is. We don't have to rank. We know it's arbitrary and reductive anyway. Let's just enjoy the product that we get. Suspend belief a little bit.
I'm trying to.
Yeah, pretend these people are marooned. It's fine. Let's play the game. Like, it's a game now, but we could still say, okay, they're on a deserted island. Like, they were never really on a deserted island, y'all. It's always been a television show. So let's just just suspend our belief a little bit more.
Okay. All right. Chappell, we have a little bit of a first here, something that I cannot recall here in the new era or really any era outside of returning players. One of the Survivor 44 contestants is already up and running on Cameo. Now, we know some of the players that have had their merch stores up, but Chappell, can you guess which Survivor 44 contestant is up on Cameo?
I don't even know these people's names yet. Let me think. I need a hint, Rob. You can't just throw that at me. Give me something.
Okay. You might have seen this person at Stifler's house.
And Danny from the Bronx. Look, let me tell you something. Danny was not in any parts of that episode. This man basically said, I'm a New York firefighter, to no applause. Rob, remember back in our day, you said New York firefighter, and Survivor's like, Jeff is like, yes, you did it. He said, I'm a firefighter from the Bronx. Everybody said, okay. And he was never seen again. So Danny, make your coin.
Yeah. Okay. So there's this Danny. He is up on the Cameo. So we'll see if more of the Survivor 44 players are going to follow suit. Okay. Sam brought this up. All right, Sam, you have the next one. We're going to go to some of the tweets from the week.
Wait.
Okay.
Pause. Did that say $225?
For
Daniel?
a business video.
What does that mean? Daniel?
Like if a company wanted to come out and say like Columbia Pictures proudly presents one of the stars of American Pie 5.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. $225 for Jason Biggs. Yeah, that's a steal.
Okay. All right. How about a tweet from somebody who has been one of the queens of Twitter so far in this season? You want to hear what Carolyn has going on over on Twitter?
Mama C?
Okay. All right. Yeah, baby. All right. Let's take a look here and see what this tweet is. And so here is Carolyn, and she is saying she's next to a picture of the specialist, and she says, hardest thing is picking undies. Ain't no one want a camel toe. I wanted to wear an LGBTQ plus brand too, so I brought 2 pairs to Fiji. Then it hit me. These are Phillips underwear. Anyway, so I wore some from Target.
Okay. She bought. Oh, okay. I thought like she did the thing, where Survivor sell merch, where you actually buy Phillips underwear. Like I thought these were pre-worn, like broken in.
Yeah, I think that Philip did give out some underwear to fans. I don't know if they were the actual ones. I believe did they survive the season? I don't recall. I think it was his shorts that got buried. But Carolyn almost wore, brought Stealth or Us back to Fiji.
as she should have. You know, she invoked the name of Nora on her bio. But I mean, if you say you're like Philip Shepard, pencil you in for the final 3 at the very least.
Yeah.
I mean, I won't say at the very least because he did do worse in the second time around. But he was running. Look, Philip Shepard was underrated his second time around. So if you want to pay homage to Philip by wearing peak undies, go for it, Carolyn. I support you.
Okay. All right. And then we've got another Carolyn one to show you, Chappell. Okay. All right. So Carolyn also is printing out pictures of herself. She posted this to Twitter. Twitter : key tags info Survivor CBS Survivor #1. Survivor is only 44 days away. So excited to share this experience of a lifetime with you all. Watch me in the Survivor premiere Wednesday at 8/7 on CBS and Paramount Plus.
She copied and pasted the quiet part. Ma'am, you don't say like Carolyn said. You just read the line. So this part about Twitter with the key part, right? Yeah, go up, Rob. Let's scroll up. Yeah, this part at the top. Twitter, key tags and info, : like I think when they emailed you and told you you were supposed to post a tweet, you weren't supposed to add that part.
Yeah, so she copied and pasted. Yeah.
Of course she did. I love you, Carolyn. That was incredible. It's like repeat after me. Repeat after me. That's literally what she did. And this picture is deranged. Stop it. Never post this again, Carolyn. Stop it. That's terrifying. Not the picture in a vacuum, but so many of them. It's kind of like what's the thing where you have like the little
Keep my pants.
Yeah, they made me do that too, Carolyn.
Mm-hmm.
You copy and paste the quiet part. Like what are you doing, ma'am? Just like skip the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
The next tweet's gonna say, "Dear Carolyn."
Yeah. This might be why
Nobody's talking to me.
Okay.
Helen goes, "No, what? You stop."
All right. Okay. All right. Then we got one. Here's Claire. Okay. Claire had a tweet this week. She talked about how these queens sat so I could sit. Claire shouting out Sandra and Courtney, who reunited this week.
Yeah. Oh, wait, what they reunited for? What happened?
Yeah. So
what did they do?
A picture of them.
Were they at a lake house?
I don't know if they were at the lake house.
Questions that need answers.
Yeah. Also, put a plaque on the bench. Call it the Sandra bench. Come on.
Can you call it the Sandra? I know it's the Sandra bench. This is my queen, so I worship at this bench as well. But like, the Courtney erasure really? Like, I mean, we kind of have to like if you call the bench the Sandra bench, you kind of have to have like the Courtney seat as well. You know, because like these players, they built that seat. Okay, we named it after Sandra, but Courtney deserves what she deserves.
Yeah. Okay. Then we have some updates from Maddie Chappell, the woman who took you out of the draft.
She did on purpose. I know she did.
And herself out of the game. Maddie had a Twitter thread talking about things you didn't see in the episode.
Ooh, okay. Let's go. Let's
All
talk
right.
about it.
Here are some things that didn't make the edit. Maddie says that when she left Tribal, she shouted to from getting voted out, "Bring me back, Probst. I'm the Godfather." Every time I think I'm out, they pull me back in.
Maddie, I love that. I love that you took that moment and you made it about you because you weren't about to be on TV, so you might as well go ahead and get your shine. I say, first of all, Jeff should bring you back because I think you do have the energy to be a very entertaining.
Bring them both back.
Yeah, I think Bruce's cousin was in the chat earlier. Yeah, bring Bruce back. But yeah, I think with Maddie, she could be like I said, I picked her because I thought we could be friends, and now I know that she wanted to sabotage my draft, so that's not cool. But I do think that she could be a great, like, entertaining player. I love that. Like, she's like, I'm an alpha. Cool, bet. Like, I want to see more of that. Lead the tribe. Move some votes around. You know, please split some votes, Maddie. But you know, I would love to see you come back and play again. So yeah, tell Jeff you're the Godfather because you are.
Okay. All right. Then number 2, as we see on Sam Moore's Twitter, it says, my whole tribe thought I was secretly a CEO, and I had a full convo about it. My feral ass, a CEO. Kane came over to talk to me and was like, hey, they think you're smart. You better do some damage control with Canadian flags in between every single word there.
Holy smokes.
Also, Kane plus me equals Secret Alliance. Watch my exit press.
Yeah, the second part is irrelevant. Let's talk about the Canadian flags in these tweets. So because this was Kane and he has the Canada sprinkled throughout, is this mean just like this was like a very polite way of saying like, they think you're smart, so you better do some damage control. Like when you make it Canadian, does that change anything about the delivery?
Well, Kane has a very distinct delivery. I don't know if it's like distinctly Canadian.
Yeah, I didn't get Canadian from Kane. I mean, I'm sure someone told me that he was Canadian, but I wasn't paying attention. Yeah, so I don't know. I would love to hear how this
They
conversation
didn't seem
went
like
from
that
Kane's point
secret
view.
of an alliance on the show either.
It was very open. Like, I saw the episode. I was like, oh look, they look like they're pretty aligned, especially when he votes for the person that Maddie voted for.
Yeah.
I do like my feral ass.
Yes.
Is that
My
like
feral ass?
The spiritual successor to the BFJA would be now the MFA. My feral ass. Yeah. I would wear a shirt that said MFA.
MFA. All right. And then Maddie says, you see, Kane says, I like Matt as he's climbing the rock. We were having a convo about Kane wanting to bring him into our alliance. He falls from the rock. And after, when we knew he was okay, we returned to our strategy convo. I say, so you were saying you want to work with the dude?
Hey, show more.
You want to work with the dude who fell from the rock?
That would probably have been a great scene of television to show, but it really doesn't align with Maddie then going to Kane and being like, okay, we're strong. We got tribe strength. It's you, the guy who fell from the rock. It's me. I think that's good TV. I think if Maddie makes it anywhere further than the first episode, they show that for sure, because it does show like, okay, there's some wacky people out here. We're we out here as Survivor. People trying to live their moment, have their big moment. And she's tapped in. The person who fell from the rock might not have their head in the game right now. Not in the Bruce aspect, but if they keep falling, maybe. So maybe that's where that came from. But I like that tweet a lot.
Okay. Then part 4. Sam, give her some likes here also, by the way.
Yeah,
all
well,
right.
Dear God, go like the woman's.
Lauren told me she had her advantage. I knew she wasn't going to vote at tribal council. Watch my exit press. We did. I was there.
Yep, you were there.
And then in the marooning challenge, if you look into the episode, I'm standing with my foot on the log. I thought there was an advantage hidden under some tarp. When the challenge ended, I ripped the tarp off to stuff it in my pocket. It was a microphone.
See, that is feral, and I appreciate that. That's the kind of chaotic energy in my mind I have that I actually wouldn't do, because I'm like,
Survivors should destroy all the sets.
Just do it. Just do it. What are they gonna do? What are they gonna do about it? Nothing.
Okay. All right. And then also Maddie was standing on somebody's shoulder. I think we got it with the Maddie moments that we didn't see on the episode.
I think we needed this though. We needed to go and give Maddie his just due, because not Maddie, but we need to give Maddie her moment, because like Maddie, again, this is a good character. It's just gone too soon.
Yeah. Maddie was very fun to have on the show. Sad to see her go out too soon. Okay. Now I want to talk a little bit about Carson, who we haven't talked about much in this feedback show. I want to play for you a moment from the episode and get your reaction to it, and then we'll get the follow-up from Twitter. Here's Carson talking about his prep for the show.
I've never dated anyone.
What?
I'm the quirky little nerd.
No, you're not. You're a good-looking young man.
Yeah. Well, actually, I gained 30 pounds to come out here in 3 months.
What?
I was 115 in January.
What? Tom Holland, Spider-Man over here.
Okay. All right. So he, I think they filmed this in like May or June. So that Carson looks like he's in pretty good shape here. Gained 30 pounds of seemingly muscle to come out and play on Survivor.
I mean, it's pretty apparent that it's muscle. If it's not muscle, then it's somewhere else and we can't see it. And Rob, I'd rather not. But 30 pounds in 3 months is insane bodybuilding.
And this guy needs a YouTube channel. Forget Survivor. Forget NASA.
I've been waiting on the regimen since the moment he said. I'm like, why haven't I seen the TikTok?
Where is the program, Carson?
Right, like what are you waiting on? What are you waiting for? He went from 115 to 145, and Rob, he's a sex symbol. These people on the internet are thirsting over him. And
yes.
Quite frankly, I'm concerned because
more than Brandon in the challenge, people are like having to get medevaced off Twitter.
Yeah, Humberto. But what I think, right, for me, I've been a Carson stan since day one. Since before the cast preview, I knew this kid was gonna be something.
You knew.
I am at the front
You've been
of
new.
this fan base. But I'm kind of worried about him.
Yes, we're worried about him.
To be a whopping 145 and with all the thirst tweets I've seen going his way, I'm afraid somebody gonna toss him up in the air. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying? Like,
now-
I need him to land okay.
Chappell, Brianna in the chat wants to know, is this the new Liver King?
Who's the old Liver King?
Oh, you don't know about the Liver King?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
Okay, no, catch me up.
That's a good catch up. I don't think we do it here,
Hold on,
but
let me
that's
Google it.
Yeah, Google the Liver King, and
Liver
then
King, okay.
9 things that he does.
9 things. Oh, okay. Oh God. Yeah, Carson, turn that down before you end up there. Just stop. Put the toothpaste back in the tube. I just say, if you're hearing me, Carson, be aware because these people are feral. They're in heat and they want you.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So Carson then took to Twitter to say,
Of course he did.
Okay, note to future Survivor players, don't announce on national TV that you're single. I'll never be able to respond to all my DMs again, smiling emoji. And I hate having unread messages, LMAO, hashtag Survivor44. Wow. Don't announce on national TV that you're single. I'll never be able to respond to all of my DMs again, LOL. Chappell, this was not my experience.
You found your wife in the midst of your Survivor experience, Rob. So it's a thing that happened. But yeah, you also put on 30 pounds of
as
not,
well.
but of not what Carson did. Of not what he did. He did 30 pounds in one direction. You have always maintained that 30 pounds in the other direction is what you think is the best.
I started at 145 pounds.
Yeah, and you was a thick one.
And
Once you
added
put on that 30,
Yeah.
your little wife beater was on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You had things going on for you, Rob. I'm sure people were at home less than they just didn't have. You didn't have no DMs back then, Rob.
Yes,
What
to
were they gonna-
Bruce's cousin, I too had a very tight shirt. Yes.
Right. Well, were they gonna slide into your Yahoo inbox? Like, what do you expect for them to do?
They could have tried.
They could have tried. You don't know. They might have looked you up. I'm sure if we looked into the annals of Survivor internet, I'm sure there's some Rob Thirst out there. Especially now, Rob, that people have been calling you the daddy of podcasting.
Okay.
Yeah. The beard did it. Yeah, Carson is about to find out that every snowflake is different. And so please don't look at all the DMs. Just you'll see a few of them and then you'll get the gist of it.
Yeah. All right. And then Carson had another tweet. This is a science tweet. Okay. Carson wanted to know, he did a poll. Chappell, and I don't know your opinions on this. Do you believe there are aliens in the observable universe? Hashtag NASA, hashtag aliens, hashtag space.
Like you said, I have no insight into this at all. I tend to believe whatever Carson teaches me about NASA via tweets, via like space via tweets, the Earth and it's whether it's flat or not via tweets, the moon landing via tweets. So I'm learning as I follow Carson Garrett _ on Twitter. That being said, I feel like if it's observable, then we would have already seen it, right? Like we would already like it's been a long time. People have been looking, you know.
But the observable universe is still pretty big. Like we could aim at telescopes anywhere in the observable universe. I don't think that necessarily means that we have necessarily observed it yet, but it is if it is observable, the truth is out there. Do you think, Chappell, though, that the only thing that could have helped Carson gain 30 pounds of muscle in such a short amount of time might have been some kind of alien technology?
Oh, like a hyperbolic time chamber. Is Carson a Saiyan? Probably. Yeah, I think, listen, I am constantly working out. You know this. I am rotating gym memberships at any given time. Do a lot of cardio, and I probably should stop if I ever plan on putting on weight. But I have never been able to put on that much weight in that short of a time. And so, again, if Carson is an alien or alien adjacent, start the YouTube channel. Where is the Twitch stream? Where is the TikTok?
I'll be the first subscriber. Yeah.
I'm number 2. Okay. So there's us. We're the first 2 on the Carson train.
Could we get Carson to personally train us?
Yeah. We should be in the same vicinity in a few weeks. Maybe he'll pull up and we can do some calisthenics.
Yeah. Okay, that would be great. Like, tell me what is the monthly fee? Where do I sign up?
Yeah, I would subscribe. Now, don't get me wrong. If he wins Survivor, then I'm withdrawing my subscription because you don't need the money no more. You got it. You should be doing charity work, and I am charity. Charity starts at home.
Okay, and then the Survivor 43 cast, of course, they've been sort of like a little forgotten with all the hubbub. Everybody's very excited about Survivor 44, but this was an insult beyond the pale this week, Chappell, because they finally updated the CBS website this season. And Justine from last season points out that when you go to the CBS website, you can access all of the casts of Survivor from the drop-down menu, with the exception of Survivor 43. It's almost as if it didn't happen.
Yeah, there's some BS. There's some BS. I don't care how you feel about Survivor 43. Thailand is right there. And if Thailand, look, scroll down. If you can get to Thailand, then this is ghetto. Like, they ought to fix this because. Oh, okay. You can't get to Thailand. Okay, cool. All right. Well, look. Let me look at the other ones.
What did Justine say in the tweet? Actually, let's just read this.
What'd she say?
Okay. I had a terrible dream last night that I was on Survivor season 43, surrounded by spiders, and got voted out second. Thank God it wasn't real.
It was very short-lived. Justine, I drafted you, so I do know that you play, and I do know that you were robbed. But it does look like Jeff might have forgotten. I think that y'all could just send him like a group text or like all come together, write a card, and just be like, "Hey Jeff, remember us? Seems like you don't. We would love to be included in the website. LOL, JK, XOXO, laughing but serious. Please add us back to the website." I think you could get. I think you can get it done if it's a joint effort.
Is it possible that somebody went ahead and said, "Drop the 4, drop the 3," and they accidentally dropped the whole season?
They said drop them all.
Is it possible the season is hiding in plain sight? Maybe there's like some hidden link to get there.
Okay. How would we find it? Is it like right below the surface and then it just pops up every now and then? Yeah. So maybe like every other day it's visible for only a short amount of time.
Sam Moore is on the CBS website. How far back do we go?
These are some attractive people.
Yeah.
Hell no. Thailand's on here. This is BS. Pull the plug. Yeah, pull the plug. That's trash because those people, there were some heinous things done in several other seasons of Survivor, and they're on there. All these people did was vote wrong. I mean, all these people did was like play their best in a new era.
Okay. All right. So check out all 43 seasons of Survivor over at CBS.com. All right.
Bruce's cousin. Do you see your cousin out there? Boy, that's crazy.
All right. So then, okay, well, you mentioned Bruce's cousin in the chat. Now, Chappell, there, of course, this week was a huge event in the Survivor world, the announcement of the official Survivor podcast, On Fire with Jeff Probst. Available wherever podcasts are located. Jeff and one of the producers of the show, alongside with the producer of the podcast, give you an inside look at everything that's going on with the production of Survivor.
This is dope. I think that since the dawn of Survivor, we've always wanted to know Jeff's inner thoughts about the season. We want to know like production secrets. We want to know the shit they should have showed you, like they used to do in the real world. So getting Jeff, this person who is a Survivor expert and an icon in all like reality TV as a host, as a television personality, he keeps this show on the tracks. And so, yeah, having a Survivor podcast, an official Survivor podcast, is long overdue. And I'm so happy to hear Jeff on this venture. It's so cool. It's so cool. Like I know here at RHAP, we're big fans of Jeff Probst, but like I think this just made me a bigger fan. Like I don't think it's possible for RHAP to stand Jeff Probst anymore. This is so cool.
All right. Well, there were some interesting nuggets on the show, including that Jeff announced that Bruce would be the first returnee of the brand new era of Survivor. So that was exciting.
Yeah. Okay. Now, Jeff, look. That's a little messy though. I get why Bruce. I understand that. It's like Is like, are you gonna be like, yeah, like Bruce is like getting a season dedicated to himself? I saw the good Russell, the good, has good Russell and evil Russell. Like I saw good Russell on Twitter, and he was watching Bruce like dying during that challenge, and he was having a breakdown. And I remember, when his wife watched him die on a challenge, you're like, you're dead. He was right next to him. So I really don't want Bruce's wife to relive that. So Bruce, wear a helmet. Also, reward challenges, not that important. And let's stop down on that too. We seen Beast Mode Cowboy about die in a reward challenge. Y'all, it'll be okay. These people ain't gonna let you starve to death. You'll be all right. Just don't kill yourself. It's cool. It's Survivor. Take your time.
Claire said, "What? All this for Flint? I mean, Beast Mode Cowboy almost died for like salt and pepper.
It was spices. The man was out there killing himself for oregano. Like dear God, boy, cayenne pepper. That serious? And then you know it with no damn cayenne pepper. That's a little too spicy for him. It's probably like salt.
Yeah. All right. Well, Chappell. So one of the segments on the brand new On Fire official Survivor podcast is that Jeff Probst each week is going to address one of the criticisms of Jeff Probst and or Survivor. And so there is a segment that is called "This is Why Jeff Sucks."
Oh,
yeah.
Is it
Can you believe
similar
that?
to like? Well, I think that's fun. It's very tongue in cheek. I think it's one of those things where it's kind of like you remember the website Survivor Sucks, obviously.
Yep.
Where it's kind of just like, yeah, you say I suck, and I'm gonna own that so that you have one less thing to throw at me, so that we can get to the the point, right? And I think one, Jeff does not suck. Like Jeff is trying his best. He's doing his best, and we all learn and react to things differently. And he has a billion.
Nobody
things on
can
his plate.
say that he's not trying.
Yeah, Jeff is doing his best. Okay, so get off his back. But I like this. I never really liked the title Survivor Sucks for that website, just because it kind of felt like, damn, I really like this show. Stop saying that. But now as an older person, I'm kind of just like, okay, I get it. You kind of just like, it's fun to be here.
So as an homage to the official Survivor podcast, I thought it might be fun to incorporate here on our feedback show our own version of
"This is Why You Suck."
Okay. Chappell, all right, I gotta do it. I gotta take the heat. I gotta take my medicine. Okay. All right.
Does this Rob and Chappell read mean tweets?
Well, we're gonna read. I'm gonna read one of my recent Apple Podcast reviews. robinthewebsite.com/iTunes if you want to leave your own. Okay.
Can I read my mean tweets after you read your review?
Okay.
All right.
This is from somebody who the subject is called "Sellout." Now, hold on a second. Don't this is just an unofficial Survivor podcast. How dare you? How dare you?
Like, act like we got bought out by Big Survivor.
Yeah.
We're out here. We're the little
dare you?
man.
Okay.
We're a small business.
Little guy just trying to make it happen here in the
trying
podcast
to make it
world.
in the big old world. Yeah.
Okay. All right. This commenter says, "Sellout. Rob, great podcast. ... But I'm sure you recognize how lame and cringy the show is now. ... Serious question. When did you turn into a lame Howard Stern?"
Oh,
all right.
Get him.
So, all right, boy, when I probably like 1998. I mean,
wasn't that the goal? Like, I mean, I'm pretty sure you've always given a lot of your credit to like you wanting to be in talk radio and stuff like that to your connection to the Howard Stern show. Like, that's you're pretty common knowledge.
Being lame Howard Stern has kind of been like career goals. So
it paid off.
Yeah. So, all right. This was actually a 3-star review, believe it or not.
That's what I'm saying. It's not that like it was I think it was like a legit, like genuine question. They were like, so what? They just wanted to know the date. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't a like, hey, the podcast is bad. You're not living up to your potential. Howard Stern is crying somewhere. You're not doing him any justice. This was literally like, no, what day was that?
Mm-hmm.
You're like,
yeah. Okay. So, all right, new segment for the feedback show. Now, I didn't go and search for my names and not mentioned. I didn't do that.
Well, that's what I'm about
Maybe
to
that'll
do.
be for next week.
Yeah, that's what I'm about to do. Because I'm pretty sure if I search my name, not mentioned, I can find someone dragging me to hell. It typically
Mhm.
happens. I don't search my name for that reason often because I know that somebody talking shit. But if you give me like, if you could just vamp for a moment, I'll find one.
Okay. Of course, if people want to send in their own voicemails for the podcast every week, you can do that at robisawebsite.com/voicemail for next week's episode. And of course, make sure you get everything that we're doing over here on RHAP when you subscribe to Rob Has a Podcast at robhasawebsite.com/subscribe. You can get the link for the Rob Has a Podcast main feed and our Survivor only podcast feed where you could hear not one, not two, but 3 podcasts in 3 days between myself and Chappell. Chappell, how you doing over there?
I found so many of them, right? I don't even know what to tell you.
Yes.
All right. We got Chappell out here lying unprovoked on the timeline. This is from Wheezy Stay Live 15. We have someone come get Chappell on the timeline telling these lies. This is in the same day, by the way.
Mhm.
So I'm assuming I'm a liar. I mean, there are so many of these things calling me full of shit.
Yeah, but that's sort of like almost a compliment. Yeah.
A little bit. Oh, this one is from Rob at Parlays and 45.
Yes, Rob H. Yeah.
Rob H.
Little
Bro,
Rob. Yeah.
Did Chappell draft Jamarcus Russell with the number 1 pick?
I'm just glad he didn't say Zach Wilson.
But the crazy thing is that was from last year. That wasn't even this year's pick. Like, dear God. I hate Chappell every day that ends I'm sorry. I hate Chappell every day that ends in day. That's a good one. Let's see. Oh,
who said that? One of the podcasters?
No. This one is from a listener. It says, listen, this unfiltered Jacob Jones on the slop is totally different human being. He's definitely blowing Chappell out of the water.
Oh.
Yeah, no, right. I was like, I didn't know.
That's more of like a Jacob Jones compliment.
I almost said a really mean thing about Jacob Jones in that, and I almost said "fuck Jacob Jones," but I didn't. I held it in. But yeah, like I can always find mean tweets about me, and keep them coming. I like the attention.
Okay. All right, Chappell. Anything else you want to say on the Survivor 44 feedback show?
No, I mean, Rob, I think we covered all these bases. We had so much to talk about. We have it's the premiere, and I always appreciate how you bring me on to do the first feedback show. I think this has happened twice now, maybe 3 times.
Twice? This is the 4th time.
Is it 4? Why? Impossible.
41, 42, 43, 44.
I was on for 41.
Yeah.
I heard I was a sub though. I think Sasha
Survivor
was
guy. Remember?
I thought that was 42. It's hard to keep up. One of these seasons doesn't exist anyway. But I'm pretty sure I was a sub. But it's kind. You made the right decision. This was fun. I'm so excited to talk about some of the players that we definitely ignored. I'm sorry, Heidi. But like moving forward, there's gonna be a crazy season. You're gonna have so much feedback, and I'm probably gonna hop in the chat to kind of like to keep the party going a little
Chappell.
bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna have some questions out here. I talked to Bruce's cousin, all that stuff.
Yeah. Now, Chappell, I know you're probably dead in the water in the podcaster draft, but there's still hope for you because we are partnering with the Make Your Picks app, which is a free app that you can play Fantasy Survivor, and the game doesn't start until week 2 of Survivor. So there's still time if you download the Make Your Picks app available on Android and iOS. All you do is you pick 5 players to be on your fantasy team. You get points for a whole bunch of different things that happen. And you also get 3 shots to pick the person who is going to go home in the next episode. Plus, there's all sorts of different advantages that you can be playing for yourself or against other people in the league. So go ahead and play for free on Make Your Picks. I think we have over 1,400 people from the RHAP community playing right now. So play along and draft your 5 people for your fantasy team. I got Dominic set up to play. You know how he gets with these things. So
hyper competitive.
Yes, very, very competitive and always looking for more things to play in fantasy. All right. Chappell, What's coming up for you?
You know me. I got a lot of podcasting going on. I'm everywhere these days. I'm very busy. I just threw a charity event the other day. It was great. So
Incredible.
I'm so tired. I just want to sleep. But yeah, follow me on Twitter at Chappell's_show. And if you're watching this, you probably see at Steve versus the world. That is the Instagram page for a man named Steve who needs a kidney. And so if you want to go check out his Instagram page, I think he has a GoFundMe on there. Or if you have a spare kidney, go check it out. See if you want to make that decision on your own. He said, "Hey, Chappell, you do me a favor and mention this? Of course I will. Whatever. If I had an extra kidney to give, I'd give it up. I do not, and you wouldn't want mine. Trust me. But in the meantime, follow me on Twitter at Chappell's_show, and I will tweet out all the links of the stuff that we're talking about. Currently, I'm on post-show recaps covering a few shows, including Grey's Anatomy with Ariel. So on our podcast coverage of Grey's Anatomy, it's called Grey's Anatomy's Anatomy, where we're talking about deep dives of Grey's Anatomy, past seasons, present season as well, season 19, talking about characters and all that good stuff. It's a great time. Ariel's iconic, so check that out. I'm also on post-show recap talking about Abbott Elementary. We're only like 2 more podcasts away from the finale because we do 2 every other week or whatever. And so Gia and myself are over there on PSR talking about the 2nd season. Catch it over there. I'm also on post-show recaps talking about Bel Air with Puya, the aforementioned fan of this podcast, Puya, who is going to lose the draft. He is my co-host, the Carlton Banks to my Will Smith, when we talk about Bel Air on Peacock. So check that out on post-show recaps or subscribe to our podcast, Bel Air, a post-show recap. And then I am talking about Snowfall, season 6, the final season of Snowfall with Mari Forth and LaTanya over on post-show recaps as well. So, if you want to catch the last season of Survivor,
last season of Survivor. Oh my God.
No.
Chappell, my kids have to go to college.
The inheritance idol has to mean something, Rob. On Ghost Island 6, that's what Dominic's gonna have. The inheritance islands.
Oh my God.
But yeah, no, Snowfall's ending. You want to hear my opinions about it? Check it out over there on post show recaps as well. I was recently guested on Rob and Akiva Need a Podcast to talk about the greatest TV dads in history. We did a bracket. It's bracket season. It's March Madness. So myself, Rob, Jason Reed, and Akiva all did that on RHAP on Rob and Akiva Need a Podcast. So check that out too. Speaking of Akiva, I guested on the New Girl, Old Guy podcast this week. It hasn't been released yet because I just recorded it maybe like an hour before it started. Well, 10 minutes before I started this one, trust me. And so if you want to hear me talk about the show New Girl, which is now on Netflix, formerly on Fox, then check that out over there with Ali and Akiva. I think that's it. I know I'm missing something, but for the most, y'all get the gist of it.
Follow Chappell on Twitter.
Yeah, and follow at Nothing But RHAP, because that's the thing, right? Like, we have Nothing But Netflix is the podcast that Rob and I host together, so that'll be fun. And I was like, I was gonna say, and I think that's it. So Nothing But Netflix this week, we talked about Chris Rock, as Rob has outlined. I've now been banned from Twitter because of that. So check that out. And then next week we're gonna have a special guest, Mike Bloom, on to talk about the show Outlast, which seems like Survivor, but like actually dangerous, like, and not in a way like it made it dangerous.
Not dangerous fun. Yeah,
not dangerous fun, just dangerous.
Dangerous.
So that too on Twitter at Chappell's_show.
Okay. Tomorrow night we are going to turn our attention from Survivor to the Big Brother north of the border. Okay,
that's me too.
It's Kane's Big Brother. Okay, we're gonna do the draft on Tuesday night, so be on the lookout for that. That's going to be live, I believe, at 8 p.m. Eastern, and then Chappell is going to be on our kickoff coverage coming up on Wednesday night when Big Brother Canada 11 kicks off.
They said no live feeds. We said, so we still doing this. We're going to cover it. It's going to be me. It's going to be Taryn. It's going to be Asia and probably somebody else. I don't know. But I'm going there. I'm going north of the border to talk about Big Brother Canada 11. It's going to be a good time, Rob.
Yeah. Okay. So be on the lookout for that. Really appreciate everybody who's been locked in with us here at the start of this brand new Survivor season. Of course, you can get even more involved with everything we're doing by becoming a patron of Rob Has a Podcast. Now, I'm not going to tell you how to spend your money, but I could tell you for less than what you're paying for one of these cockamamie streaming services, you are going to be able to get yourself access to the greatest reality TV community in the world that I have seen firsthand change more lives than you could even imagine. Chappell, am I lying?
My life has been changed. My whole life has changed. Like I like feel that in my soul. This is the community to change your life. Rob, you've done a great job. And y'all should be a part of this too. Go to patreon.com/RHAP to make it happen.
And you get out of it what you put into it. So I'll say that, but there is a community that is more incredible than you could ever imagine that's waiting for you at robinswebsite.com/patron. Thank you so much for joining us here tonight for the first feedback show of the season. We appreciate everybody who's here with us live. Take care, everybody. Have a good one.